serve. Help us reach our Phase 1 goal of $7 million and make a true impact for this community. Let your light shine. Visit lizaslight.org and donate now.
All 650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE794066, MSRP 21820, Telluride RG543666, MSRP 39835, EV9 R602 29603, MSRP 61035. Lease terms include all rebates and incentives and a PF 695, includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit, valid through 8/31/24. Dealer stock only.
Yo, Jeff Allen, what's up over there at Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah?
I know what's down, Randy. Prices at Gossett Kia, Mount Moriah. You looking to save? 41 MPG Highway in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. I've got a 2024 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $379 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And Randy, talk about saving big bucks. 304 EPA estimate range for $389 a month in a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite, $49.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
Plus the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in for real sports talk. Sports 56 and 95 FM. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Podcasting Stations. It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome in. Time to get you set for the sports weekend. Of course, college football already off and rolling. Bunch of games last night. Not a lot of competitive games, but a bunch of games nonetheless. And about a half dozen more college football games on the docket for today, plus a bevy of high school football in the area as well. Welcome into Sports 56 Mornings on this Friday, August 30th, 2024. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you, broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, it's where family and fun come together. The world's biggest spa sale continues. Check them out this weekend when you get an opportunity. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Currently 74 degrees. Temperature will get up to about 93 today. I think a little warmer than the forecast had it for yesterday when we looked into the crystal ball for today. A little warmer than what was originally forecasted. It'll be 93, as I mentioned, for a high. Stray shower or thunderstorm is possible, just like it was yesterday. Cloudy skies tonight, 75 degrees. Stray shower or thunderstorm also possible tonight. About 25% chance. And then tomorrow, the high of only 87. I say only 87 compared to 100. That's a lot better. There is a chance for some precipitation during the day, but hopefully it'll be very nice for tomorrow night's Tigers football opener as they'll take on North Alabama at 6 o'clock at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Coming up on the program today, John Varlas joins us at 7:25 as he does every Friday. We talk prep football with JV. Dave Hooker at 8:25 from Off the Hook Sports. He covers the UT Vols. We'll talk about UT. They will open up against Chattanooga. And the expectations for this year, we'll see what they are on the Hill in Knoxville. Brandon Lang is back for another year, so get ready for some entertainment, to say the least. Plus, we'll do some handicapping. 9:25, Brandon Lang will join us, and that means 10 in a row. Now that Brandon's on the show, and at 9:25, we'll move that to 9:05. So 9:05 for 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. We got a little Memphis Tiger basketball news. We got some odds to get to for the upcoming college football season that we'll dive into. Some other news involving injury reports, including the SEC, as they're going to become a little bit more transparent. We'll update you on what's happening with the Tour Championship. More money for Steph Curry, and deservedly so. We'll tell you about his numbers. Speaking of money, Brandon Ayuk is getting paid by the 49ers. We have that. A little bit of Major League Baseball news as well. We'll take calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. That's your lineup for this busy Friday show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you see the photos of the runners that were out there? Runners, I think cyclists as well, and supporters for the finishing Liza's Run event.
I have not seen any of the photos, but that's I mean, it's a great thing that they do and all that. So it's awesome.
Absolutely packed from the photos I looked at this morning, and again, congratulations to everybody who's there to support, as you said, an extremely worthy cause, to certainly honor Liza, who was snuffed out early in her life, tragically. But you also probably heard the promo we had a couple of minutes before we went on the air about the money that they're trying to raise for the stadium and the renovations over at the University of Memphis, which will be in honor of Liza Fletcher. So, again, great job by everybody early this morning. They were up even earlier than you and I as we got ready to come here to the studio and begin the show. All right, so last night there were 21 games. There were 19 games between FBS schools and FCS schools. The FBS schools went 19-0 against the FCS schools. Not a shock. You know, usually there's an upset here or there, but not a shock. But there was only one game that was a single-digit result, and that was the Colorado-North Dakota State game. Everything else was double digits and then some. A lot of blowouts last night. But it was college football, and I know that excites a lot of people, including you and I.
Yeah, I mean, FBS versus FCS, that's what you're probably going to get in most cases, to what you should get in most cases. Now, the Colorado game, I mean, North Dakota State is one of the elite FCS programs there is, so you can expect a little bit more out of them, and that turned out to be a fantastic game, and Colorado able to find a way to hold on and win it in the end.
Dallin Hayden, now a part of that Colorado team. I got more on him coming up with our Memphis Sports Fact to open up hour number 2. But Shedeur Sanders showcased his ability to get out of sticky situations with his legs, his ability to throw down the field, his accuracy. And then you have Travis Hunter, two-way player, will be a high draft pick, just a sensational athlete. But Sanders went 26 of 34 for 445 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. And again, North Dakota State is a really good FCS team. I don't expect big things from Colorado. There are a lot of weaknesses. They were getting pushed around early, but they won the game, so give them credit. And again, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, Shiloh Sanders to a certain degree, they have some players. I just don't think they have enough to really compete for a title in the Big 12, at least not this upcoming season. But it was a good game. That was the one I focused on last night.
Well, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are elite. I mean, what Hunter does in just the pure number of snaps he's playing is crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, for game 1 of the year, like, to come out there and be able to just be on the field constantly and do what he does. I mean, that touchdown catch was silly. Mm-hmm. I still don't even know how he caught the ball, like contorting his body and figuring out a way to even get a hand on it, let alone catch it. He is special, and Shedeur Sanders is special. I mean, they're going to both be, in all likelihood, first-round draft picks. I mean, the team has 2 elite talents. Is there enough around them? Probably not. Up front, they're still not great by any means. And North Dakota State did a lot of good things. Their quarterback, he was fantastic as well, running the football especially, but throwing it, they did a lot of good things. And, give Colorado credit, the start of the second half, whatever adjustments or whatever they made, their defense was able to get a few stops and give them the opportunity to get the lead. And then hold on in the end with probably a little help from the officials on that final drive. When you've got two elite talents like that, there's always you're always dangerous to opponents.
Hey, it's game one for the officials as well. I thought they were pretty bad in that game. They missed a lot, including a lot of holding calls that could have been made. Maybe they didn't feel like using the whistle real early in the season, and they got to ease into their job. But look, Colorado won that game. North Dakota State, I thought, had opportunities to win. You mentioned their quarterback. Cam Miller was sensational. He was 18 of 22 for 277 and a touchdown. He was very elusive running the ball with 16 carries for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. What I did not like is how many times their coach on a drive pulled Miller and brought in Cole Payton. I didn't understand that. And I think it hurt him on one particular drive that I can remember. Maybe a difference maker in that game.
The officials, on that final drive, the missed targeting, okay, I'll even accept the missed targeting. The costing them time because you're starting the clock before the ball is placed, like you cost them
yes,
those are like 3 important seconds in a game, and you're winding the clock, and you've got your umpire moving the offensive line back to try and spot the football. That's something that's pretty costly in that moment, and something that you very easy to fix. Wait till he gets the ball spotted, now wind the clock. That's the whole purpose. The clock doesn't start in that situation till the ball is spotted.
Yeah, well, like they always say, we'll see the improvement from the officials. The most improvement is made between games 1 and games 2. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the actual teams themselves. No, in all seriousness, there are a lot of things lacking last night as far as that is concerned. But Colorado, they screwed up a couple of things, and it nearly cost them at the end of the game. Number one, throwing that ball on first down made no sense. We would have never been in the situation that those guys were in with a chance to come back and win on a Hail Mary if they had run the ball on that first down. They screwed that up. Also, I don't understand when there's 2:08 to go, that's when you use a timeout, I think. And then you have the 2-minute now timeout, the new 2-minute warning that they have in college football. The other thing was, it didn't even come out of the analyst's mouth when the Hail Mary was thrown, and instead of knocking it down, the Colorado defensive back, and I'm not sure if that was Sanders, I don't know who, Shiloh Sanders or not, but instead went for the interception. It deflected off his hand, went right into the receiver's hands for North Dakota State, and luckily for Colorado, he was tackled at the 5-yard line. The announcer, the analyst said, make sure you knock it down, as everybody does, right? Every analyst says it. Everybody knows. Knock it down. Knock it down. Don't go for the glory. Nope. They go for the interception. Nearly burns them. So Colorado, they should be very happy today that they're looking at a W and not a loss.
Yeah, the throwing on first down, I think that's a Dion thing. Because
he was trying to end it. He was trying to end it right there.
Well, yeah, he's trying to catch by surprise and thing, but he also wants the ball. He even said it in the interview they did in the fourth quarter. He said he wants the ball in Shedor's hands. He wants to put the game constantly in Shedor's hands.
Nothing wrong with that.
And so they're gonna do some probably dumb things in that situation instead of just running the ball, trying to throw deep. But and yes, the game should have. I mean, North Dakota State should have never got the ball back, but they did. And yeah, I mean, for them, it's got to be a bit frustrating. Again, some things that happened on that last drive that you think, oh, could we've had more time or whatever, and to come up 5 yards short when you do complete the Hail Mary, that's a tough pill to swallow. But yeah, I mean, for Colorado, you escape with a win. Not exactly the way you did it. Not as impressive as last year's season opener.
Right.
But nonetheless, a win is a win. and they move on. And again, if they could keep Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter healthy, that's a hell of a combination.
Speaking of healthy, unfortunately, the new quarterback for North Carolina, Max Johnson, that's former NFL quarterback Brad Johnson's son, gets hurt in the third quarter, and it looked to be serious. I'm not sure if there's been any more information released. I know there was a report that it was his knee. It was certainly his right leg, but may have been the knee.
They said it was his hip.
It said it was his hip. Okay. Don't know, again, what the status is, but devastating. First game of the year, and then, of course, they kept showing the parents, Brad and his wife. Hey, boy, that's rough when you see your kid go down. But North Carolina, with the backup quarterback, able to do enough, get into field goal position 4 different times at least for 4 field goals. So give credit to the North Carolina kicker, and they were able to beat Minnesota in a game that actually featured 2 schools from power conferences going up against each other. The Tar Heels go to Minnesota, win 19-17.
Yeah, it was not a pretty game by any means. Johnson certainly did not do much while he was in there, and then they were able to. Harrell came in and put together the final drive to get the game-winning field goal. Omarion Hampton did his thing, and they're going to lean a lot on him at North Carolina this year. I don't know. Without much of a passing game, though, it's going to be a little different situation for North Carolina.
No question. Here's what people have to realize if they don't already. It's game 1. Don't take this to the bank that your team is going to be like this every game, whether it's good or bad, and especially when you have all these FBS, FCS matchups. Arkansas fans,
they're not going to win every game 70-0.
No.
I disagree.
No, and they may not win every game. In fact, I don't think they're going to win as many games as they are going to lose games. But at least for last night at War Memorial in Little Rock, they rolled over Arkansas Pine Bluff 70-0. 687 yards of total offense for Bobby Petrino's offense. Welcome back. And you saw about 1,000 players play for Sam Pittman's team. So, again, at least for one night, Arkansas clicking on all cylinders. They scored a touchdown, was it on the first 10 or 11 drives? Which is crazy. I think
it couldn't have been 11. They had 70 points.
First 10 drives.
My math will tell me they did score in the first 11 drives.
That's right. First 10 drives, I think they scored a touchdown. I believe that was the fun fact from that game. And then I guess they called off the Hogs, if you will. Missouri, another SEC team in action last night, beat Murray State 51-0. Now, Missouri's expected to be right in the hunt for a playoff berth. They are number 11 in the country. Brady Cook picking up where he left off last year, 19 of 30, 218 yards and a touchdown, 4 rushes, 22 yards and a touchdown. They really didn't have to do much. Luther Burden caught a touchdown. Just kind of a ho-hum 51-0 win for Mizzou. 3 American Conference teams in action last night. All won comfortably. Tulane, 52-0 over Southeastern Louisiana. UAB, 41-3 over Alcorn State. Tulsa, 62-28 over Northwestern State. What do we take out of that? Anything?
They played a bunch of bad opponents.
That's what I take out of it. Although Tulane did have, 100-yard pick six?
Yes.
Not too shabby for your defense. Couple of other games of note. Utah, number 12 in the country. Cam Rising's back. He threw for 5 touchdowns, 49-0 over Southern Utah. NC State, number 24, had a tough time with Western Carolina, at least for the first half, maybe the first 3 quarters, but then were able to shake off the Catamounts 38-21.
Yeah, it was certainly not that impressive. It's a big step up that they're making with Tennessee next week, so they will have to be a hell of a lot better next week if they're going to try and beat Tennessee and slow down that offense.
Was it the old looking ahead?
It could have been a lot of things. I mean, again, as I said, it's the first game. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could happen in those first games, but they struggled for a long time in that game.
Coastal Carolina put up 55 against the Fighting Rich Rodriguez's, 55-27 over Jacksonville State.
Man, they had guys just running wide open all night long. 555 yards. Running, throwing, it just like guys were just in the open field. It felt like all night for Coastal Carolina. That was impressive.
Tonight, 6 games, Lehigh and Army. Army, of course, now a member of the American Conference. Temple visits number 16, Oklahoma. Florida Atlantic from the American at Michigan State. Elon at Duke. Western Michigan at Wisconsin at Camp Randall. And TCU will take on Stanford. Of course, Stanford now a member of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Go figure. Other college football news. ESPN Bet came out yesterday with odds to win the college football playoff. Georgia, the favorite, as you would expect, at plus 300. Ohio State at plus 325. Then you can start to get some good money. If you want to take a shot with Oregon at plus 700, Texas at plus 900, Alabama at plus 1,400, Ole Miss at plus 2,500, and Texas plus 4,000. Odds to win the college football playoff. SEC schools.
Texas can't be plus 4,000.
Said it. Said Texas plus 4,000. Maybe because they lost a couple of the running backs. That's what it said. ESPN Bet. SEC schools will provide public reports on player availability for conference games in football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball starting this season. Commissioner Greg Sankey said this is intended to reduce pressure from outside entities using it for gambling purposes. Instead of going to the players, now it'll be out there, and it will be from the programs themselves. Football, the reports are required 3 days before each conference game, then daily updates, including a final one 90 minutes before kickoff. Other sports the night before, and then an updated injury report the day of the game. So the Big Ten, I believe the Big Ten has it. The SEC, Texas Tech, I think, is doing it from the Big 12, although the Big 12 is not one of those conferences that has decided to make it official by all schools with their injury report. Schools can do whatever they want individually. It's not mandated by the Big 12. But there you go. And it makes a lot of sense. Yes, gambling purposes, but you keep the ill repute away from the game as much as you can. Make it as transparent as possible. And that's what they're going to do in the SEC.
Texas is plus 900.
ESPN Bet?
Yes.
Maybe was it Texas A&M? I swear to God, I saw plus 4,000.
Plus 4,000, it might be Texas A&M, yes.
Okay, that's what I was probably looking at. What'd you say it was, plus 900?
Yes.
Okay, so they would be... Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, that's right. I had Texas. I rolled through those, and I said Texas plus 900, and then I came back and said Texas again plus 4,000. Texas A&M plus 4,000. But anyway, good money. I mean, look, Georgia's 3-1. Right? You bet 100, you win 300. That's not bad. Ohio State's plus 325. But Oregon, Texas, Bama, Ole Miss plus $2,500. I think there's going to be a few people, probably I know, that'll throw down a few shillings on Ole Miss. Can you imagine that at plus 2,500? Folks, it's All-Star Chevrolet's end of summer sale. It's going on right now at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Get on down there this weekend, test drive a couple of vehicles. They have so many to choose from. I'm looking at 20 or 30 new Silverados, marked down as much as 12%. That'll save you thousands. Beautiful Tahoes as well. They have all types of pre-owned, including pre-owned Ram trucks, Silverados, Broncos, 4Runners, Audis, and Hyundai Palisades. They got a sweet Corvette Stingray on the lot, unless that's been purchased in the last few days. Law enforcement, all first responders, healthcare workers, teachers, military, college students, and graduates. You get an extra $500 bonus when you purchase a vehicle from All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. And it is a great week to get the most money on any vehicle you want to sell. So bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. Get a big check today. Don't miss All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale. It's going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. Check out these great vehicles online as well at allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, we turn our attention to prep football. John Varlas joins us from the Daily Memphian. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
The Mitsubishi Final Days of Summer sales event is going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pipe. So come get bang for your buck with 420 total range and 64 combined MPGe in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. We Gossett $34,770 or $299.98 a month. And check out 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett at $27,245 or $349 a month. Plus, you'll never go wrong with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi today at 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com. That's Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
RZO 35,297, MSRP 47,470, 36-month, 30,000-mile lease, 44.53 due at signing, 1,095 acquisition fee, 25 cents per mile excess wear and tear. Eclipse RZO 65,450, MSRP 28,745, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
A lot of ladies here in Memphis are wearing beautiful diamond rings. Have you noticed? And a lot of gentlemen are wearing nice Rolex watches now. It's all thanks to Genesis Diamonds. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and Genesis Diamonds has made fine jewelry more affordable than ever. This is Tennessee's direct diamond import. No middleman pricing on the finest GIA certified diamonds. All shapes, all sizes, all in prices you never thought possible. And Genesis is the only jeweler that carries the top bridal designers in America. So you can find the perfect setting to showcase that diamond and have a truly one-of-a-kind ring. And something that I love, their incredible collection of luxury premium Rolex watches. These are all in pristine condition and priced right. Thanks to Genesis, you can get that Rolex you've dreamed about. All this with no commission salespeople, no pricing games, no pressure, no nonsense. Genesis Diamonds, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans, and Rob Burns Extended, or online at GenesisDiamonds.com.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Sunrise Super Summer Sale is on fire at Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. You'll find sizzling hot deals like a new 24 Buick Envista and $2 grand off MSRP, or choose a new 24 Buick Encore GX and up to $7 grand off MSRP with qualifying rebates. Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. Limited fun black car.
Price does not include licensing costs, registration fees, taxes, and dealer doc fee of $899.50, which are to be paid by the consumer. Invista stock number RB168330, MSRP $25,880, dealer discount $2,000. Encore stock number RB217502, MSRP $30,405, dealer discount $4,000. Purchase allowance $3,000. Must currently own a non-GM vehicle. Expires 9/3/24.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is an ACUSA church located in downtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic still moving out here on all the major interstate routes, at least at the moment. 40 westbound from Germantown Parkway all the way up to Sycamore View Road. Now it was closed from the runners over there at Central Avenue at Belvedere. That could still be closed for a little bit longer. Traffic's on the increase 40 east across the Hernando de Soto Bridge coming over from West Memphis. Weimer's Jewelry, they're located 7525 Highway 64. They are your full service family-owned jewelry store. Go by and see them this weekend at Weimer's Jewelry out there on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Morning on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:27 the time, hour 1 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Wrapping up the month of August. Getting you set for the Labor Day holiday weekend. And, of course, on Friday, we get to talk to one John Barlos.
It's time for Greg and Eli's weekly visit with John Varlas of the Daily Memphian. Check out John's prep sports coverage and much more at dailymemphian.com. John is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis, where the pros and preps go to get their shot on. Shoot 360 Memphis. Now here's John Varlas with Greg and Eli.
He is the award-winning Daily Memphian prep reporter, but so much more. He is John Varlas. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. Catch him every Friday right here with us, talking prep football and other things during the course of the year. John is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis. John, interesting, we always talk about Steph Curry, who uses the Shoot 360 system. Yesterday, he got paid one-year extension worth $62.6 million. We can't promise kids that will happen to them, but they're going to get much better.
Well, they will get better, and they can do it at either in Collierville, the original location there on 85 Market Street, or that brand new sparkling 50,000 square foot facility in Cordova out there on Big Orange Road. That's easy to find off of Macon there. They've got the full-size basketball courts, the high school courts, the shooting bays, the same great coaching, the same great analytical data, the same great staff that they have at the Collierville location. So, yeah, you can be a member at either one or both. You can do monthly memberships. You can go month to month and just try it and see if you like it. But, like Greg always says, I think you will like it. It's a great product, and it's a great way to improve your basketball skills. Parents, grandparents, even coaches, you call them up, get your team over there and get them better for the season ahead. You can call them at Cordova 779-3176 or Collierville 316-5500. Shoot 360. Tell them JV sent you. They will get you right, and they may get you paid if you never know, if the good Lord is willing.
I think Steph Curry can afford the yearly membership.
One of the places, not both.
I think he can figure out a way to scrap that into the budget.
They could probably do both.
John, I know you're fired up because it was at least a day ago, if not a couple days ago, you said, "Oh my gosh, do I have some bones to pick?" So here you go. This is always your opportunity on Friday.
Well, and there's just so many.
Are we at Festivus? Are we going to air the grievances right now?
What is that?
No,
Seinfeld.
It's a Seinfeld
reference. Okay, sorry. No, lots of things. I was a little perplexed by Greg in particular, your football picks, your SEC predictions, but that's old news.
You're gonna pick a bone with me because of my opinion.
I'm starting my list.
You're starting to get on my nerves already.
You asked me to write down the list. So I think but the main thing.
Which one didn't you like, by the way?
I didn't like Florida. I don't think Florida's going to be very good at all. I didn't
have Florida. What did I have? Florida?
I think you had them upsetting some teams that I didn't think they were going to upset, but that's fine. I'm just messing with you. But anyway, no, I got a kind of a bone to pick with my friends at the TSSAA. I'm not happy. I'm not happy with this situation that went down in the Chattanooga area this week. So to give you guys a quick backstory, Bradley Central, a really good 6A team there in Chattanooga, their quarterback in week one goes down with a knee injury. I think it might even be a season-ending knee injury. So he's out. So that happens Friday. Monday, a quarterback from a rival school, Cleveland High School, transfers to Bradley Central to play quarterback, and he's going to start for them this Friday night, tonight, and the TSSAA has ruled this kid immediately eligible. So we've got a quarterback from one school going to take over the starting job at another school after the season has begun, and he's been ruled immediately eligible. And I just think that sets a very, very bad and troubling precedent. I'm really concerned with that.
So he played at the old school this year.
He played at Cleveland in week one. Tonight he's going to play at Bradley Central in week two.
Is it open?
What is their reasoning for?
Yes. Is it open enrollment? You can just go anywhere you want at any time.
They reviewed the case. The Chattanooga Times Free Press. My buddy Stephen Hargis had a story about it. I wasn't able to read the story because it was behind a paywall, and frankly, I didn't want to subscribe just to read the story. But no, he's been declared eligible for whatever reason, and like I said, I just think it sets a dangerous and troubling precedent where what it certainly appears like is that this one team lost their quarterback and they
Went out and recruited another one.
Went out and got another one. I mean, that's certainly what it looks like. And it stinks for Cleveland, too. So now Cleveland's going into their game in week 2, and all of a sudden they don't have their quarterback because he's transferred across town.
Right.
It just stinks on a whole bunch of levels. I think it opens up a really bad can of worms. I know there's a school of thought by some in Tennessee that we should just have unlimited transfers willy-nilly. You know, the kids got to do what's best for the kids. I mean, I think that's preposterous, but, you know, the decisions like this, I think, are really kind of leading us down a troubling
What's
path.
the rule? What is the rule? Can you find that out from the TWSAA?
The rule is you have to have a bona fide change of address from your whole family. So in a
day that guy moved, his family.
Once you've started the season with somebody else, like you shouldn't be able to transfer and play.
Right.
In that makes no sense.
I agree, and you know,
certainly not week to week.
And usually, you guys know I'm usually on the side of law and order. I'm pro law and order, but I don't know. The TWSAA is troubling me with this one. They really are, and. You know,
some team has a really good player, they get eliminated like the first round of the playoffs, and some other team's like, "Hey, come play with us. We're still alive in the playoffs. Transfer over here." Like that is ridiculous.
You've opened up that precedent. You really have. So I mean, so to your point, Eli, how are you going to say no to the next team that does that?
I want to know. I want the statement from the TWSAA. I want to know exactly what they said.
Well, it's probably in the Times Free Press article, and like I said,
but I'm not going to pay for the paywall either.
No. Talk to your friend and have him send you the article.
Yeah, well, I guess
yes, I'm real curious.
I could have done that, but like I said, I was busy sorting through myriad bones this week. I mean,
well, that's a good bone to pick. Not my 6-6 pick of the Florida Gators, but
I think
that is a serious bone.
All right, I think you just had them beating somebody that I just.
Jeez, come on,
I know.
Go to the next one.
Oh, that's it.
I thought you had multiple.
Well, I do, but we need to talk football. I mean, I've got. I've got a bone with Mark Jones, the way he broadcasts football games. I've got a bone with Stephen F. Austin, playing 11 kids and their mom and out in the backyard, and the score is 70-0 at halftime. I've got so many.
But it only ended 77-0 They only scored 7 in the second.
Do you know why?
Yeah, they didn't. They played 2 players.
They played 5-minute quarters in the second half. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
God bless them. Love that. Love that stuff. That's the way it should be done.
Eli wants to get to happy hour. He's a big fan of running clocks. And,
I got a little bone to pick with you because you were kind of on X trying to seemingly pick a bone with what Rutgers did at the end of that game, and I have no problem with what Rutgers did.
Yeah, I didn't like what Rutgers did. I mean, that game was decided against Howard.
They handed the ball off twice.
They did, but that's it. They rushed to get that. They rushed up to the line of scrimmage to get an extra playoff in a game that was already determined.
And if Howard wanted the game over, as Greg, don't call the timeouts when you have the ball. Just let the game end while you have the ball. We can't possibly score again.
I hear you, but the game's won, and I don't know.
What do you think about backup guys getting in there and getting their opportunity? It wasn't the starter.
The guy had 4 carries in the game before that. They had to him twice. He scored.
But the game was won, though. I mean, it was a 30-point deficit, and to me, it looked like they were just trying to cover the spread. And I mean, you certainly don't want to be playing to the gamblers, do you?
Well, if that's the reason, then I see what you're saying. But if it would have, Graciano's not going to say
if they would have came out and threw the ball, I'd be. But they handed the ball off twice to a guy who's their backup running back.
I don't have a problem with that.
And again, Howard could have ended the game. Like they could have let the clock run out while they had the ball, but they called timeouts and turned it over on downs.
Well, anyway, yeah, just a lot of bones this week. It's just been a bad week, I think, all around.
All right. Well, high school football week 2 started out last night with a few games, including a pretty good one interstate-wise. Houston, DeSoto Central, with the Mustangs getting the dub.
They did, and that game was close, even deep into the third quarter. But Houston comes out on top, and they have now won 14 games in a row. Oh.
You remembered another bone?
I just got a bone in the head.
I just hit Eli because I'm gesticulating wildly, and I smacked Eli in the side of the head. So, Houston, right? So Houston's won 14 games in a row. The state poll comes out last week. So last year, last game of the season, Houston, Murfreesboro, Oakland in the state championship game. Everybody knows here, Houston won that game rather handily. after the first quarter, midway through the second quarter, it was clear who the best team was. Houston won that game by 17 points rather convincingly. Houston brings back several key players from that team last year. Arguably they might even be a better team this year. The first state poll of the year comes out. 11 voters vote Murfreesboro, Oakland number one. One voter votes Houston number one.
You.
I can neither confirm or deny. In a vacuum, does that make any sense to you?
But there's always been a bias. I don't think this is fake bias. A bias in high school football against the West of the state.
I think you're right, and I think there's a bias.
Well, how are the voters? So there's 12 voters?
There was 12 people that voted this way.
What do you know? Where those voters are all from?
They're distributed all over the state. I mean, I don't know who they are, but they're all over the state.
So you don't know the voters?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I can guess who they are, but no, there's a bias I think against football here in the Memphis area. Just like I think there's a bias kind of given the Memphis basketball teams the benefit of the doubt over the years. I think it works both ways. Mm-hmm. But no, I mean in a vacuum, Greg, how do you look at two teams in that situation and not vote the team that beat the team in first place? How do you not vote them number one? Anyway, I've detoured. I've given Eli a concussion. That's why I say all that to say Houston did extend their winning streak last night. Chandler Day was excellent again. Selly Davis had a terrific game running the ball. They won 14 games in a row. It was a good test for them. They go down on the road, play a competitive, large school Mississippi program, and they come out with a victory. So a good win for Houston. They got Germantown next week in the Battle of Germantown to begin region play. I'll probably be there for that, so I'm excited to see Houston and Germantown in person. But no, Houston's rolling right along, playing good football.
What did you think of Chandler Day's decision to go to Tennessee? He's going to play baseball.
Yeah, great decision. I mean, I definitely think baseball is where his bread and butter is, and Tennessee. I mean, that's the national champions. I mean, you can't get any better than that. So I wish him all the best, and he's off to a terrific start to this season. He threw a touchdown pass last night and ran for 2 scores. He's run for 4 touchdowns in 2 games, and he's off to a terrific start. And that's just one of the reasons I think Houston is the best team in Tennessee in 6A. They bring back a really, really good defense. They bring back an all-state quarterback. They're so well coached. I just don't get it. That was the thing that has really kept me up all night. That poll, more so than anything else. Honestly,
you're such a homer.
I'm
just kidding. So tonight, huge game tonight. You got in your Dandy does a number 4 Lausanne at number 2 Bartlett.
Yeah, big game. Bartlett is number 8 in the state in Class 6A. Lausanne is number 3 in the state in Division 2A. That's going to be a terrific game. I mean, both of those teams are coming off really impressive wins. Bartlett against MUS. Jaron Johnson committed to Mississippi State. He ran for 335 yards against the Owls. He scored 5 touchdowns all in the second half as Bartlett kind of pulled away after a bit of a slow start. I haven't been able to confirm this, but I talked to a longtime MUS person. He hasn't been around, all the 100+ years MUS has played football, but he's been around for a long time, and he thinks that's the most yards anybody has ever run for against MUS, and I would, kind of be inclined to believe that because they've had a really, really strong program. So, just a tremendous game from Jaron Johnson, and likewise, Lausanne was impressive against Mace, winning 35-6. Their quarterback TJ Jenkins, Kevin LaCastro, told me after the game he felt like that was the best game that TJ had played in a Lausanne uniform. Made lots of smart decisions, lots of good throws, lots of good reads, and what really impressed me about TJ in particular in this game, they run a play early in the first quarter, got a wide receiver wide open in the end zone, streaking right down the middle of the field. Jenkins drops it right in there. The receiver drops the ball. Should have been a touchdown, but Jenkins shook that off, came back, had a really strong game, and the receiver who dropped the pass, Jawell Rogers, he shook it off and really, played well. He caught 2 touchdown passes after that. He scored on a 20-yard run. This is a big kid, 6'1", 190, 195. he's a junior, and recruiting always confuses me, guys. But I don't know why some really big schools aren't in on this kid, because he's a heck of an athlete, a really terrific football player. Jawell Rogers, junior receiver, remember the name at Lausanne. He's going to be really good, and he's off to a terrific start.
Real quick, do you have a lean in that game?
No, I don't have a lean.
Okay.
I'm rooting for good football out there at Bartlett.
Okay, when we come back, we'll
be a lines maker here. Come on.
We'll look at some games. We'll look at some other games like Germantown at South Panola, Melrose and MUS. Got the M&M Bowl at Munford. If you have a particular game you want John to talk about, just hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines. Text in at 901-360-8255.
This weekend, with all the college football action, I know tomorrow I'll be having my Big Green Egg fired up. Not sure. I'll probably do some wings tomorrow to watch some college football. Great time to do that if you're not going to the game, just sitting at home, or if you're going out to the game, maybe you want to bring the Big Green Egg with you. Certainly if you got one of the smaller eggs, and I got 7 different sizes for you to choose from. Those smaller ones, very easy to take with you out to your tailgate at any game that you're going to. It's the best grill there is, and it comes with that lifetime guarantee. The Big Green Egg, go to biggreenegg.com, or you can visit the Ace Hardware stores here in town, or Hamilton Fireplace. They're distributors of the Big Green Egg.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Everyone loves home improvement. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51 makes it easy. A real hardware store run by 3 generations of a real hardware family where you can get it all. Whether it's repairs, remodeling, or new building, kitchens, bathrooms, tiles, tubs, vanities, sinks, mirrors, lighting, furniture, even door hardware. All the latest designs as well as timeless classics. And if outdoor fun is on your mind, they have the Big Green Egg and accessories. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51, 8560 Highway 51. Easy home improvement.
They can't get that Central Barbecue location on Central back open soon enough.
It's still going to be a little while. They do things right at Central Barbecue. That's why every location is so unique.
I know, but there's a lot of different Central Barbecue locations. But I miss the OG, the Central Barbecue on Central.
You know, it's going to be completely different.
Well, not completely.
Yeah, when the Central Barbecue location on Central reopens, it'll be bigger, nicer, more streamlined.
But still on Central.
That's about the only thing. For the time being, until they tell us different, you can't go wrong with any of the Central Barbecue locations.
You know, I think we've broken a record for saying Central Barbecue the most times in a Central Barbecue commercial.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
John Varlos joining us, talking some prep football. A few games yesterday, bunch of games tonight. We've talked about a few, including that big Lausanne at Bartlett game. All right, let's take a look at Germantown going across the border as well. They'll play at the University of South Panola.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly South Panola is going to bring to the table. I mean, perennially they're a strong program. So I expect them to be good. I expect them to have some dudes over there. Germantown last week, it was interesting with Germantown. So they lost so much from that great team last year. They lost 10 out of 11 defensive starters. They lost most of the offensive line. They lost their quarterback. They lost their running back. Just lost a lot. But, they go out last week with, new starters at every position, virtually every position, and albeit it's against Raleigh, Egypt, but they went out there and won 50-0. The quarterback, Makai Robbins, played really well, really efficient game, 7 of 9 passing with a touchdown pass and a touchdown run. So he looks like he'll be pretty solid for them. And, they still have Trayvon McGorry, who's, the wide receiver who already has multiple SEC offers and just, arguably the best receiver in our area, just a really, really good football player. If they can find a way to keep getting the ball to him, they should be in good shape. But it's going to be tough down there on the road in Batesville tonight.
Speaking of guys they lost, you've got Melrose, number 7 in your Dandy Dozen, at number 12 MUS.
It's going to be really interesting to see how MUS responds, from that loss last week against Bartlett. I expect them to be a lot better, as Greg capably pointed out earlier. The biggest improvement is from week 1 to week 2. So I expect to see a lot of improvement from the Owls, but conversely, I also expect to see a lot of improvement from Melrose. They beat East in their opening game. The score was only 20-7. I know they were down a couple of guys with injuries, who I expect to be back against MUS tonight, and we'll see.
Will Morrow be back?
Morrow's expected to be back. I think Ryan Brown is also expected to be back. So having those two guys obviously is going to help any football team, and I know that Melrose, from talking to those guys in the preseason, they did not put up a good show against MUS last year, and they are eager to go into Stokes Stadium and show that they're a much improved football team this year. M&M
Bowl at Munford this year. I think Munford last week got waxed pretty good. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I think Millington, I believe it's the first. I believe Millington hasn't won the M&M Bowl in maybe 10 years, 9 years, and most of those games, Greg, going back and looking at the score, they haven't been particularly close. But I think Millington has a real chance this week. I mean, I think Millington's got a really, really good football team that nobody's talking about. They got a veteran group, really good size, good defense. Jackson Ford along the defensive line is one of our very best linemen. Here, fascinating with Millington. So 12 years ago, they started a freshman at quarterback, right? He plays all 4 years. He's replaced by a freshman. That kid plays all 4 years. That kid is replaced by a freshman. He plays all 4 years. So Millington's had 3 quarterbacks over the last 12 years, 3 quarterbacks that have all started 4 years. And then last week against St. Benedict, they started another freshman, Cole Hawkins, who played really well. And possibly it's his job for the next 4 years. I don't know.
That's crazy.
I know going into the season, they had a sophomore who they thought very highly of, a kid named Seth Irvin, but Cole Hawkins got the start last year. It's just incredible the confidence that Coach Chris Michael and that staff at Millington has in freshman quarterbacks. They go from Eldon Timms to Tommy Clifton to McCoy Pugh. All of those guys started all 4 years. It's really incredible and something you just don't see really anywhere. And it's going to be interesting to see how things play out with Cole Hawkins.
You would hope by the time they're an upperclassman, they are in control and that you have big seasons when it's like Memphis with Seth Hennigan, having a 4-year quarterback. You're way above a lot of other team situations at that position.
Yeah, it's just so rare that you have that though, Greg. I mean, I know
4 straight guys start as a freshman.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Good feeder system wherever it is.
It definitely is. Tate Colwick at Arlington. He started as a freshman and played all 4 years and had a great career. Andrew Johnson, who's currently at Fairley's quarterback, he started as a freshman, and he'll be a 4-year starter. He's a really good quarterback, but in the high school level in particular, it's just so rare. But to do it now four times in a row with 4 different quarterbacks. I mean, it's incredible.
It's an oddity in a good way.
So they've got like whatever. Do we have 4th grader right now? That's a 5th grader. Who's like, that's our next one. He's our guy.
Waiting in the wings.
Get that kid ready. We need him in 4 years to be ready to go.
They've already got him targeted.
All right, let's go rapid fire on some of these other games. Mitchell at Whitehaven.
Mitchell's not playing Whitehaven.
Mitchell. Oh, they're playing Craigmont.
The game is at Whitehaven.
Okay.
Right.
Since I brought it up, anything about that game? Mitchell won their opener, right?
Mitchell won their opener, and they've got a good team there in 2A. I mean, that should be a competitive game against Craigmont. Craigmont, unfortunately for Craigmont, they lost some guys in the transfer portal. Their quarterback Elijah Brinson transferred to Southwind. Eli will see Elijah Brinson tonight against Christian Brothers. Their wide receiver last year, Trey Henry, transferred to Southwind. He had a good game for Southwind in week 1 against Ridgeway. So Craigmont's in a little bit of a rebuilding mode, but that should be a good test for both teams.
You brought up Craigmont Christian Brothers.
Sheffield Christian Brothers.
Sheffield, excuse me.
Yeah, Sheffield lost to Cordova last week. Really not a good outing for Sheffield, and they struggled against Christian Brothers last year. I'm still not sure, and maybe even Coach McDaniel and the staff over there at Christian Brothers, maybe they might not even be sure just exactly what they have yet. That first game against White Station last week was just such a penalty-filled, mistake-filled affair. I'm not sure how good Christian Brothers is. I suspect they're pretty good because I really like what I saw from Ethan Johnson and Cole Frazier at quarterback and Javon Slayton. Their skill guys really impressed me. So I suspect Christian Brothers is probably pretty good, and I think we'll know more about them after this game tonight against Sheffield.
What about the Horn Lake? I'm not sure if you know much about Horn Lake. They come across the border to play Southwind.
Yeah, Southwind. I mean, Southwind's clearly a team on a mission. I mean, they beat Ridgeway last week 69-0. It was 60-0 at halftime. Kelvin Perkins, the Mr. Football winner at quarterback, he got his campaign off to a good start. He threw for 4 touchdowns. He ran for 1. Gary Greer returned to kickoff for a touchdown. Trey Henry, I mentioned, was outstanding. Defense, obviously, outstanding. They pitched a shutout. So yeah, Southwind is on a mission this year. They are out to show everybody that they belong in that 5A championship consideration.
Zach shaking his head. Yes, you're right, John.
Zach loves that 69-0 against poor Ridgeway. My goodness. But no, yeah, I think Southwind gets the job done tonight, and because they're just a really, really good team.
All right, final game for you, and that's tomorrow night. Whitehaven goes to Tupelo. Tupelo's always good.
They are.
Whitehaven won their opener in the Whitehaven Classic.
Yep. Really impressive from Whitehaven last week, too, against Central. They beat Central 34-0. Remember the name, Christopher Talley. He went to Spring Fling last year in the hurdles, but he's also their running back, and he had 260 yards against Central, only 13 carries. He broke off 2 long touchdown runs. Obviously he's got that track speed, so he's a really terrific running back, one of the best in our area, and that was a really good start for Whitehaven. I know Coach Salisbury pleased with that one, but I know likewise it's going to be a couple of steps up level to this week against Tupelo, Greg, like you mentioned, which always has a solid program down there in Mississippi.
Averaging 20 yards a carry is pretty good.
It's not too bad, right?
That'll get it done.
You almost think, why did they only hand it to him 13 times? But that's just the way the game played out. And obviously, there weren't many sustained drives. He's hitting home runs every other time he touches the ball. So yeah, Christopher Talley's really good. And like I said, he's a track guy. He's got that track speed, and he's the real deal.
My new nickname for John Varlas, No Notes. That's his new nickname. No Notes. John No Notes Varlas. All off the top of his head, ladies and gentlemen. Again, absolutely amazing to have that in the vault. All the names of all these players. Incredible. Make sure to follow John on Twitter at John Varlas.
He's making up half of them.
Yeah, we haven't checked, have we? We don't know if these guys are for real. Daily Memphian prep reporter, but so much more. He is JV. He joins us each and every Friday. Thank you, John.
You got that right. Take care, guys.
Which part do we got right? That you're making up names, or that you're the award-winning
Multi-award winning.
And again, brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis.
Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended. If you're in the market for jewelry for whatever special occasion it might be, if you're thinking about popping the question and getting engaged, go see the folks at Genesis Diamonds. All the top designers when it comes to the rings. Unbelievable selection of diamonds of all different sizes and shapes and cuts. Everything you can imagine for any budget out there. They've got it at Genesis Diamonds and a great staff to help you pick out that perfect piece of jewelry. They've also got the massive selection of pre-owned Rolex watches. You can find it all at Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Hour 2 on the way. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memphis, it's official. Crab King Seafood is where it's at. For the most flavored seafood and the biggest plates, run to a Crab King's near you. Visit the Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road. The price, the portions, the service is why Crab King's is #1. So don't be disappointed in seafood. Make the right choice the first time and every time. Make it Crab King's. Crab King's have only locally grown catfish. Come and devour tasty snow crabs, king crab, shrimp, salmon, catfish, calamari, and so much more. Enjoy Memphis's best tasting pasta with your choice of toppings. Visit the Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road. Crab King's is open Wednesday through Sunday. Enjoy 50% off lunch portions and dollar fountain drinks. The #1 name in Cajun seafood is Crab King Seafood, a Memphis favorite. Crab King, 7140 Stage Road. Kings with the Z.
To understand what makes Genesis Diamonds so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back over 40 years to the diamond cutting capital of Tel Aviv, Israel. That's where Genesis owner Boaz Ramon grew up, in the center of the diamond universe. His connections with the best diamond cutters allowed him special access, giving rise to a thriving wholesale business here in the United States. Then, after a few years, this wholesaler changed the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices he had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success. Today, Genesis Diamonds provides that extraordinary value to people right here in Middle Tennessee, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best price of any jewelry store in America. Genesis Diamonds, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Genesis Diamonds, luxury pre-owned Rolexes, and Poplar and Perkins Extended.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store with 20 employees along with complete inventory of items. Big to little, finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and River Grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even your keys with the Key Fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws. You need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Ridge and White Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still working with a couple of minor accidents out here. It's actually been pretty light to moderate with that traffic flow coming in from Fayette County into Shelby County on I-40 coming westbound, passing 269. Still a little bit of volume southbound over here at Austin V Highway, getting up on that ramp to I-40. It's a clear shot over there right now. I-40 at Watkins near the 101 connector. Weiber's Jewelry at 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Go by and see them this weekend. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 the time. I just saw that catch again by Travis Hunter. Looking at a monitor here in our studio. Oh, my gosh. Incredible. If you're just tuning in, thank you so much. If you've been with us since hour number one, we appreciate it. It's the Friday, August 30th, 2024 edition of Sports 56 Mornings as we get you set for the Labor Day sports weekend. We got 6 more college football games on tap for tonight after 21 games last night. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 76. It will get up to 92 today. Some clouds, a lot of sun. Some thunderstorms may develop this afternoon. Tonight, 75. Cloudy with a stray shower or thunderstorm possible. Second hour of the program is brought to you by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue, right between Mendenhall and St. Nick, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. If you're in the market for an engagement ring or any jewelry, make sure to stop by James Gaddis Jewelers. And if you do so, please tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. James and Jay, Lyndon, all the great employees at James Gaddis Jewelers will take care of you. Every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. I mentioned this in hour number one. Did you know that Christian Brothers High School star and former Ohio State running back Dallin Hayden is the number 2 running back for Colorado? So last night, he was able to play. He didn't play a significant amount of time, but he played enough to get 9 carries. He had 9 carries. A little bit tough road to hoe for Dallin in game one, just 20 yards. The offensive line was really struggling a bit in opening up holes against that North Dakota State defensive line. He did have a nice catch and a nifty move for a first down, 14 yards on the catch. And he also had a great block on a blitz, which allowed Shedeur Sanders to throw a long touchdown pass, one of his 3 to Travis Hunter. So good job by Dallin Hayden in his debut with the Colorado Buffaloes. Again, hour number 2, brought to you each and every day by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Yeah, Raider Corey texted and he said, I was really wanting to see how Hayden would perform last night. Was a little bit disappointed. I'm rooting for the CBHS grad. Yeah, I mean, that offensive line, again, is not great. I did think there were a couple of plays he was like one kind of guy away from breaking into some big plays that he just never could quite get it. He did break the tackle on that reception. But, they had the one where they went for it on the 4th down, where they gave it to him on 3rd and 4th down, and there was just nothing there.
Nothing
for
there.
him
They stopped him.
But
yeah.
The kid's got a lot of talent, and if they can just get a little blocking up front for him, I think he can have a heck of a year there.
Yeah, I know one of the carries you're referring to is the ankle tackle. The guy got the arm out just on his ankle and just tripped him up. I think he had a lot of daylight after that. But I think he's going to be good. I really do think he's going to have a chance to shine for Colorado.
Another texter on the Sissy Log Cabin Listener line says, I wonder how long the honeymoon will last in Boulder, since Deion thinks he's the best head coach in college football. He wants to be respected like Nick Saban. Respect is earned by winning games and championships, not by going 4-8. Yeah, I mean, looking at their schedule and just watching them last night, I think it'll be very difficult for them to get to a bowl game this year. But they do have 2 special players. So, and then if you don't do it this year and then you lose Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, hard to see it getting a lot better next year.
I don't see Deion Sanders ever backing down from the braggadocious style and his personality, even if they don't get the 6. I don't imagine him retreating into some sort of cave and not addressing things. He is an outspoken, braggadocious.
Well, he just chooses the things he wants to address.
Well, that's
who
true.
can ask him questions.
That's true. I mean, look.
Eventually, his press conferences will be like one person who's allowed to actually ask questions.
Hey, they stupidly put it in his contract, which, again, still blows my mind that it is. But, yeah, I'm trying to find their schedule here, and I don't know how they're going to get to 6. I see weaknesses in that defense, especially early on in that game. They were confused by what North Dakota State was doing. They got better in the second half. They did. They're at Nebraska. That's a big game for them. They go up against a Big Ten team, a Nebraska team where they are expected to have improved from last year with Matt Rule as the head coach. Matt Rule usually does turn around college football programs. They're at Colorado State. That's a rivalry game. Baylor at home at UCF. Then a bye week. Kansas State at home at Arizona. Cincinnati at home, a bye week. At Texas Tech. Utah, they get them at home. At Kansas, Oklahoma State on the Friday of Thanksgiving week. That is a rough finish. Utah, at Kansas, Oklahoma State. I don't see 6. Now, if they can go to Lincoln and win that game, then all bets are still on. But if they go to Nebraska, get beat by a couple of touchdowns, it's going to be a long year. The question is, does Sanders one day get the opportunity to coach in the NFL?
I mean, if he keeps having bad years at the college level, I don't know why anybody would.
Is it all going to be based on just wins and losses? Or with Sanders?
NFL teams aren't looking for like publicity. Like they don't need any of that. Like
right.
If you're hiring a coach in the NFL, you should be hiring a coach who you think is going to win. Like you're not trying to get like attention for your program at the NFL level.
That's why you get a lot of names that people may not be familiar with at the NFL level getting head coaching jobs. So you're absolutely right about that. And I'm not talking about him getting hired because of publicity, although that's a Jerry Jones move.
The other texter says Travis Hunter is a beast. He was over 100 plays. They didn't throw at him, and he had 3 touchdowns.
Great player.
Too bad Colorado won't be very good again, or he'd be the Heisman pick. No, I mean, he is, again, like first game of the year to go out and play as much as he did. It's just, he is a freak. I mean, he is an absolute freak.
To the point of the texter, and it's a great point. If Colorado is not good, and I don't know how good they're going to be, again, the one game is not going to determine that. If they're in the mix, he's in the mix. If they're not in the mix, he probably isn't. But should he be? Yes, he should be. Because what you're looking at is a rarity. You saw the graphic if you watched the game last night. There's not a ton of those players that played both ways. Of course, we know one that beat out Peyton Manning for a Heisman Trophy. So there's certainly guys that have done it over the years, but not that many. It's almost Shohei Ohtani light when he pitches and hits. And, of course, this year he's not pitching. But that's what it is. That it's a uniqueness. It's a skill set that not too many people have. He should be considered. If he puts up these type of numbers and shuts down guys as well playing corner, he should be considered for the Heisman. Now, they're not going to consider him, like the texter said, if they're 4-8 again.
You could easily, he probably is the best player in America.
You certainly can make that argument.
The dude, again, he is an awesome wide receiver. Awesome. And on defense, they literally don't throw the ball at him, as the texter said. Like he is a shutdown corner who is a great wide receiver. Like that, you don't see that. Charles Woodson played a little receiver.
Right. He dabbled in it.
He was here and there. He's one of the best receivers in America. And also one of the best corners.
What would be your guess as to what an NFL team is going to do with him?
I have no idea. I have no idea how the scouts look at him. He's not going to play both ways. If he goes to the NFL as a corner, I could see him getting some snaps on offense, kind of like what Dion did at times. Like he would go and maybe play some. But if he goes as a receiver to the NFL, he's not gonna play. I don't think he's gonna play corner also.
No.
So I have no idea. I have no idea how they view him as what his better NFL position is. But he is. It's incredible what he does.
We opened up the show talking about the games from last night, most of the games. A couple of other notes, and then I want to switch topics. But we talked about the Arkansas win. Again, easy now, Hogs fans. Great performance against a really, really bad team in Arkansas Pine Bluff. But nevertheless, Bobby Petrino in the return, the offense was clicking. 10 drives, 10 touchdowns. But do they have a legitimate star running back in Jaquindon Jackson? Now, Taylon Green was great in this game. I still am not a big fan of his, but Jackson looks to be like the real deal. But what does that offensive line do against formidable defensive fronts when they face the bulk of the SEC?
Yeah, I take literally nothing out of beating. I mean, Pine Bluff is bad amongst FCS schools.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing to take out of Arkansas last night.
I'm with you there. All right, there was some Memphis basketball news yesterday. Hitman Hoops reporting that Penny is pursuing 5-star guard Texas transfer Arterio Morris, who was a former Memphis target. Arterio Morris played for Texas last season and has 3 years of eligibility remaining. Now, Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal later said that he does not think it is likely that Memphis will go after or be able to sign Arterio Morris. You're talking about late in the game. Penny's been notorious for bringing in players late in the game, but this one's really late. As we go into September, school has been underway for a while, but we'll see. I mean, anything's possible with the addition of a player, but that's what Hitman Hoops is reporting. Yesterday we talked about the schedule. Still not officially released, but yes, confirmed Ohio University will be that final team that they'll play on the non-conference or in the non-conference portion of their schedule. Mentioned this briefly when John was on. Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors agrees to a 1-year extension. That will keep him, presumably, with the Warriors through the 26-27 season. Zach, how old is Steph now? Can you look that up? He'll make $62.6 million
I think he's
in that final year. 36? So you're talking about it's the 24-25 season coming up.
Yeah.
Then 25, 26, 26, 27. So he's 36 now?
Yes.
That'll take him to 39. Hey, nothing looks like it's slowing him down. If there's anybody that deserves that kind of coin, that's high rent district, it's certainly Steph Curry.
$62 million is a lot of money to play basketball.
Almost, you rounded off, almost $63 million. Just crazy. Speaking of money, the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk have figured out a contract after a long standoff, which really didn't have to be that way. It was kind of a dog and pony show, in my opinion. 4 years, $120 million extension. That'll make Ayuk the 6th highest paid player. And I say dog and pony is because he got his money, but he didn't get the money he thought he was going to get. But still, they caved in. They gave him a little bit more money. Ayuk able to avoid camp. Probably the best situation for veteran players. Avoid camp. And now he'll be ready to go for the 49ers.
This is the deal that's been on the table since almost 3 weeks ago.
Didn't they add a little bit more to the pot? That's what I heard.
The reports were that he got the deal that's been on the table since mid-August, about 2 weeks ago.
Well, what I liked is that John Lynch and the powers that be with the 49ers gave him an opportunity to look at other teams and possible trades. And I think he saw that the grass wasn't that much greener on the other side, if not at all, because they were talking about trades to, where was it? Pittsburgh. What were the other teams mentioned?
Pittsburgh and Cleveland were the two main.
Yeah, now Cleveland could be a good season. Pittsburgh, I don't know, but I think he's looking at the situation with the quarterback in Pittsburgh. Wilson will start, then it'll probably end up being Fields. That's a little bit right now unstable. And with Cleveland, if Watson can ever get back to his old Houston Texans form, then maybe you have something, but he hasn't proven that he can. So maybe the uncertainty as far as that's concerned also played into it. When you have an organization like the 49ers that will, once again, be a threat to go back to the Super Bowl. So it made sense that Ayuk ends up signing and staying with the San Francisco 49ers. And again, he avoids camp.
Now we'll see what they do with Trent Williams, but they are handing out a lot of money. They've got to take advantage of these Brock Purdy years when you're paying him nothing. And they're locking out. You got McCaffrey, you've got Ayuk now, you got Debo. Like you gotta take advantage of these years. They're in a great situation when you've got a quarterback as low paid as Brock Purdy is right now, and obviously they've gotten close, but they need to cash in before they have to pay him.
The Trent Williams situation is interesting. He's 36 years old, but he's still at the top of his game. He had signed a 6-year deal. He's got 3 years remaining. The 6-year deal, the first 3, which are now over, were very lucrative. In other words, there were the guarantees and the bonus and all that came out of those first 3 years. Now, the next 3 years, he's not real excited about what they have left on the contract. So he's trying to get that at least maybe to make it more
He wants more guarantee. He wants guarantee because there's none of it.
I was going to say move the guarantee or make it a guarantee for at least the 4th year. You're not going to guarantee the 5th and the 6th year.
And the problem for him is it goes. He's got $20 million this year, I think $22 next, and then the 3rd year is the $32 million year. But the chances of him getting that 3rd year are pretty darn slim. I mean, they could easily, because it's not, none of it's guaranteed, so they get rid of it at any point. So he wants, I think, more, kind of flip-flop it, get more of that money into this coming year, get more guarantees out of it, because hell, if he were to get hurt in week 2 of this year, they could be out of it altogether and not have to pay him anything the next couple seasons.
And it makes perfect sense. Again, he's still at the top of his game at 36. So make it where it's a lucrative year here, this being his 4th year. You're not going to rip up the contract, give him more years. You got the contract in place, give him the guarantee money in the 4th year. It makes an awful lot of sense because they're expecting big things from him. They're expecting him to protect Purdy, and he's an integral part of that team. He's a major cog in that team. You have to get Trent Williams signed. I thought that, in my opinion, Williams is more important than Ayuk to sign, but they took care of the Ayuk. Now they got to take care of the situation with Trent Williams. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. Check them out online. They offer financing with different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket. They're part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active or retired, get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. They do residential and commercial roofing, so business owners, property managers out there, obviously homeowners, if you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof. All their work, satisfaction guaranteed. They do carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. And again, they do the job and you're not happy with it, just tell them. They'll fix it. Satisfaction guaranteed. Locally owned and operated company. Call Brandon today. You're going to get quality work at a very reasonable price, whether it's a new roof or work around the home. Call Brandon at 901-438-5084. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings or go online to newroofmemphis.com. When we come back, we're talking about the Big Orange. What are the expectations for the Tennessee Vols? Can they make the playoff? Dave Hooker will join us from Off the Hook Sports. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you getting the lowest possible rate on your mortgage? At Southern Security, we offer low rates, flexible terms, no PMI, and unbeatable service. Refinance your current mortgage with the Mid-South's best mortgage lender. For more information, visit us online at southernsecurity.org or call our office at 901-452-7900. Southern Security is an equal housing lender. Southern Security is a proud supporter of the University of Memphis Athletics, federally insured by the NCUA.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Despite a couple of EMS calls out here in the last few minutes, really what we've seen more than anything is radar. More than we've seen accidents in the last hour or so. A steady flow of traffic continues down 51 southbound, coming in from Millington down through Woodstock. Plenty of radar there on I-40 in Fayette County this morning. Just be careful out there around the county line. Shelby County, Fayette County line on I-40 in both directions. Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:25 is the time. Dave Hooker joins us in just a moment. 9:05, we'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Then 9:25, you know him, you love him. You can't live without him. Another season of handicapping from Brandon Lang. Well, this is your last chance for those chocolate-covered strawberries until the next strawberry season. And nobody dips them like Dinstall's. Take advantage of the chocolate-covered strawberries this weekend. When you head on out, stop by one of the 5 convenient locations of Dinstall's Fine Candies and Chocolates. Also, their Summer Sizzler special is Cashew Crunch. If you haven't had the Cashew Crunch, it is unreal. Great sweets for this week's tailgating, whether it's Friday night high school football or Saturday college football. It's always a great opportunity to enjoy the great chocolates, the great sweets from Dinstall's. 5 locations. They're in Collierville, Germantown, downtown Memphis, Laurelwood, and Pleasant View, where they make the candies. Dinstall's Fine Candies and Chocolates, they've been making them for over 122 years, so obviously they must be doing something right. Speaking of doing something right, Dave Hooker has covered the Vols for a long time, and he does it right as well. Off the Hook Sports, covering UT Vols football and all UT Vols athletics. You can follow Dave on Twitter at the Dave Hooker. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Finally, Dave, game week, right? We can literally talk about a game. How are you?
Good gracious, relieved. It's been a long off season. I mean, you guys in Memphis have more to talk about than we do. So It's pretty much Tennessee football. So very relieved. It's just one more sleep until it's time to play football in Knoxville.
Well, the content you produce is incredible for, again, so much off time. And when I say off time, meaning non-game. But, of course, now we can concentrate on that. And after football, basketball, and then obviously a baseball team that won the World Series championship. But, boy, you guys do a great job. So make sure to check that out, folks. And we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of our interview with Dave about how you can get that content with Dave Hooker and Off the Hook Sports. But I saw the comments made by Coach, and I saw the response from you as well, that he said that this is the best collection of talent he's had since he took over, but then kind of backtracked on that as well. So what is it? Is this the best talent he's had or not?
I think at some point, probably public relations guys at Tennessee finally got through to Josh Heupel that there's no need in raising expectations. They're already sky high. So he had been saying it all the way back to SEC Media Days. This is the best roster, and best roster. And it was very consistent up until Monday. And he was asked about the best roster, and he said, well, it's still not a full roster. So both of those are true. And he doesn't have what I think he thinks is a full roster of his guys 1 to 85, but I do believe it's Tennessee's best roster. That includes the 2022 season because I believe in some of their youth, but there was no need for him to raise expectations if things do go awry, and certainly Tennessee fans have seen things go awry in the past few years.
Obviously, it all starts at the quarterback position. I'm sure there's a ton of excitement. What is kind of the fair expectation for Nico in his first year as a starter?
I'm old school. I'm a guy that says you give a guy some time to learn, but I'm not with this guy, and it's based off everything that I've been told on and off the record that he's mature beyond his years. Has a lot of heart, came in, has all of the ability. You guys can watch highlight tape and tell me that. And it's been a leader from day one, but even stepped that up in this offseason when Joe Milton moved on to the NFL. Guys, he is just a different level in terms of ability as a quarterback than Tennessee has had. That includes Hendon Hooker in 2002. So as long as he can comprehend and read defenses, which is what Josh Heupel asks you to do, is read the safety and base the pass off that throw. It's not a complicated offense. I think he can be a superstar. So I would say the goal is to be as good as Hendon Hooker, to answer your question, in 2022. And I think he was second highest rated quarterback in the nation. So that's a lofty goal. But if you can get in the top 10, you're doing pretty good.
Well, what about the weapons? Tennessee has always had those great skill position players, especially on offense, those weapons for the quarterback. How strong is that group this year?
I think they're good enough where Tennessee could actually substitute some receivers because they've got some depth there. A couple of guys I'll tell you about. Brew McCoy, he comes back off a devastating injury last year. I had one scout that told me from the NFL that before the injury, he was the best prospect on Tennessee's football team. So if he comes back, he is going to be very, very good. Now, he'll be back, but we'll see if that cost him a step because it was a really horrific injury, if you remember. On the other side, you have Chris Brazzell, who is a transfer in from Tulane, but he has continually made plays in practice. Squirrel White, I believe, will be your slot receiver. Then they've got a lot of other guys that they might sub in, which they haven't done previously under Heupel. Backfield, a bit of a question. Dylan Sampson, I think, very able, but he's 200 pounds. And outside of that, I don't feel really good about Tennessee's running back position until I see them on the field. I will say this, Peyton Lewis may be running back 4 at this point, but at some point in the season, he'll be running back 2 and perhaps running back 1. And by next year, I think you'll talk about Peyton Lewis at running back as being an elite tailback. I just don't think he's ready. And they're not going to put anybody out there that can't handle pass protection because they don't want to get Nico killed.
On the defensive side, just how good is James Pierce?
He's really good. He was only one of 15 players to hit 23 miles an hour running. I do that in my car. And, so James Pierce, that's a 240-pound guy moving that fast. He's one of the most elite athletes that Tennessee's had in a number of years. And I went to a guy that was on the 1998 championship team, and I said, what's a good comparison? And it was Fred White, who played safety for them, and he said Leonard Little.
Wow.
Leonard Little, despite some off-field issues, had a fantastic NFL career. So I think the upside is tremendous, and he'll be a top 10 pick next year.
I mean, there's some that, have him right now projected as a number 1 overall pick. Do you think he could be that?
I've seen him. Yes, I've seen him graded the highest. I just think the value placed on quarterback. Somebody's always going to take a quarterback 1. I really like Shedeur Sanders. I like a bunch of quarterbacks that are going to be coming out. So I would tend to think it would be a quarterback. But if not, a defensive end is probably what you want second most on a football team.
Dave, if the season gets away from them, if it goes awry, what will be the reasons? And you can't say an injury to Nico. Are there any other ways that it could come off the track?
The secondary doesn't live up to the preseason talk. They basically let a bunch of guys walk that wanted to get more NIL money elsewhere that they didn't think were fast enough to play at the SEC level. And they lost some to graduation and eligibility. So they told us all along this is an upgrade in the secondary. They're more athletic. They bring in Jermod McCoy, a cornerback from Oregon State that is going to start, and then Ricky Gibson will start on the other side. So if the secondary doesn't live up to expectations, and they have been horrible at times under Tennessee's coaching, if they don't live up to expectations, then you could get a lot of 50 to 40 games, and those could go either way.
With Josh Heupel, like what he has done there, because where were you when Josh Heupel got hired? Were you on board with that, or did you kind of question it a little bit? And then how has it changed since with what he has accomplished in the 3 years he's been there?
I thought at the time Josh Heupel was the best they could do. You have to remember the backdrop. I mean, there were NCAA issues at hand. They're changing athletic directors. Philip Fulmer let things go really awry when he was the athletic director. So I thought with the backdrop, Heupel was the best they could do. It's not like Alabama that could just say, hey, Kalen DeBoer, you're a college football playoff contender. We'll take you.
Yeah.
So I thought he was the best they could do. I like the innovative offense. I didn't think he could recruit necessarily at the SEC level, but I've been proven wrong on that. So if you would have asked me then, I would have said I think he's a coach that gets you – this is the same thing I said about Butch Jones. I think he's a coach that can get you to 9 wins, but can he get you to 10 or 11? I need a couple years to figure that out, and I think he can now.
Dave Hooker joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. You can follow Dave on Twitter at the Dave Hooker. Who's number 2 on the 2 deep at quarterback?
It's Gaston Moore.
Hey, I like that name.
Yeah, Gaston Moore, absolutely. He is I think this is his 18th year in college. He came with Josh Heupel from UCF, and he doesn't have near the ability of Nico or the highly rated 4-star quarterback behind him, Jake Merklinger, but he does have a great understanding of the offense. If we were having a discussion right now that Moore was your starting quarterback because something happened in preseason to Nico and or Merklinger, I would say Tennessee's an 8-9 win football team. I think he's kind of like that caretaker game manager, but you don't want him for the whole season at this level.
By the way, I am extremely impressed with their 2 deep. I believe it's 35 oars if I'm not mistaken on that. That's impressive.
And none of them named Michael.
Yeah, it's more oars than Tennessee's rowing team.
I mean, the running back position to list 5 different guys all as oars is amazing.
Right. So they're all oars. So it's going to be Dylan Sampson, who's not huge, needs some help. Deshaun Bishop is the guy locally that they keep talking about, but I can't help but wonder if that's local talk and that's a guy filling a position waiting for Peyton Lewis to come up, like I mentioned. Cam Selden recently cleared for play. I think he has great physical ability, but played receiver in high school, and I question his vision a little bit. But again, if you see Bishop go out there consistently throughout the season, it's going to mean that one of these younger, more talented tailbacks have not picked up pass protection. I think that's going to be ultimate determination.
Like, I love the fact that, like, literally there's James Pierce or 3 other guys. Like, as if James Pierce isn't the starter at that position.
Right.
Clearly the starter. No, I mean, it could be any one of these 4 guys.
Well, there's some gamesmanship there, too. I mean, let's think about this for a second. James Pierce did have an off-the-field issue when he was pulled over and supposedly didn't respect the police officers in that regard. I wasn't there. I don't know. But I will say that, they didn't take him to SEC Media Days as well. So maybe this is just a situation where you say, James, you don't have those millions yet. So let's keep you in check and not let the ego get too big. That's the main reason I think you saw that or. But like I said, there were a lot of them, and it was a little bit silly. I think LSU did the same thing.
Obviously, one game doesn't make a season, but NC State did not look great. Better second half than first half against Western Carolina, but they got the win yesterday. They are the Vols' second opponent, as you know, in Charlotte. Chattanooga shouldn't be much of an obstacle, but are you thinking, now I'm not sure how you felt to begin with about Tennessee, NC State, but has your mind changed on NC State with that performance?
That's a weird one because I don't know if you guys have covered a lightning delay game, but that just always ends up in just bizarre football. And, NC State put the ball on the ground a lot, even fumbles that right when their knee was down that could have gone the other way. So I didn't think it was a particularly well-coached team, but again, that could be the lightning delay. So I have trouble drawing much of a conclusion out of that. The one conclusion I would draw is in the fourth quarter when they had to win it, they did. So they've got some heart and they've got talent to be able to take over a lesser opponent. But other than that, that was just a very odd game, and I was surprised they weren't more ready to play. But those lightning delays are so weird.
Will the fans accept losses to anybody other than Alabama or Georgia on this schedule?
No. This is the easy answer. I'm wondering about the Alabama game. I mean, that to me, if you win that game, you make the college football playoff if everything else falls in place. So I don't think they're going to be particularly happy if they lose to Alabama and Georgia because that puts them clearly in the second tier of the SEC. I think this is a load-up year in 2024. I think Josh Heupel's planned it that way. They could be better in 2025, but right now they're pretty good. So you need to make a serious run here. You need to make the college football playoff for your fans to feel reassured going into next year.
Well, I've gone out on a limb and picked them to beat Alabama. I think it's the year, so we'll see. But obviously, it all rests on the shoulders, or at least most of it on Nico. Final question for you, Dave, about the Danny White contract. He's making lots of money. He's had a lot of success. What's the thought about that contract for him up there on the Hill?
I think that contract, I was just discussing this with the source, I think that contract is kind of emblematic of his hiring process. And that is, he hires coaches that are affordable, like Josh Heupel and then Kim Caldwell with the Lady Ball. And then if you stay, same thing for the players, because Tennessee spends most of their NIL money in keeping players as opposed to the transfer portal and high school where they still spend a good amount of money. But I think his contract is emblematic of you show up, you believe, and you grow, you're going to be taken care of. And I think that sends a statement all the way down through. Now, the other factor I would throw out there is, I don't know if you guys are aware of the Neyland Entertainment District, but it's going to be a huge, like if you've been to Atlanta, the Battery around the Braves Stadium, it's going to be like that. So he's very forward-thinking and revenue-generating, which could determine national champions of the future. So if you want to weigh it more on that, then it's definitely worth the money. If you want to factor in overall, I would say no. Tennessee has to win a national championship in football because that's the sports that matters.
Dave, tell everybody about Off the Hook Sports.
OffTheHookSports.com, and you can check us out wherever you podcast. We're on YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and we'll have a post-game show talking about the game. So we would love for you to join the party.
Dave, we appreciate it. I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Well, speaking of Tennessee, there are a few Tennessee fans bigger than UTJ over at Classic Arms. He and his gang will take care of you whatever you need when it comes to the world of firearms. They've got over 700 in stock. So whether it be handguns, self-defense guns, rifles, shotguns, whatever it is that you're looking for from the world of firearms, UTJ and his folks over at Classic Arms have it all. They've got new and they've got used, because not only do they sell, but they will buy, they will trade, they do it all. They've got all the top brand names. They've got all the supplies you need, from ammo to gun safes and gun cases, whatever it is that you need, they've got you. They're the only gun importer in the Mid-South. They do free gun inspections. They do free gun appraisals as well. It's all at Classic Arms, 1740 Germantown Parkway. It's right behind Corky's Barbecue there in Cordova. You can also shop online 24/7. ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com is the website. Go see them at Classic Arms.
All right, final segment of Hour 2 on the way. Got some, unfortunately, tragic news from the National Hockey League. Also, we'll talk a little Tour Championship and get back to the conversation we've had all week long. The big game, the first game, the Tigers and their opponent, North Alabama, on Saturday night. We're a day away. We'll have some final thoughts on that. Then in Hour 3, 10 in a row to begin the hour, followed by Brandon Lang, who will handicap some of the big college games this upcoming weekend. And, of course, each and every week, it'll be college football and the NFL that'll handicap for us right here on the program. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa sale. It's happening right now. You can save thousands on in-stock hot tubs that are ready to be delivered. Family Leisure has spas that start at just $28.99. You know those cold plunges? You can get one for yourself starting at $39.99. Or how about swim spas? They start at $17,499. Plus, Family Leisure has set up special financing just for this event. Have you been sitting on the fence about an above-ground pool? Get off that fence and get to Family Leisure to take advantage of huge discounts on all their in-stock above-ground pools. And if you need some patio furniture, it's all priced to move out now. It's not too late to have some summer fun, courtesy of Family Leisure. But you better hurry up. The world's biggest spa sale might go on forever. Family Leisure. Whit and Run at I-40. Family and fun come together.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall pool bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum, this dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Some horrible news involving an NHL star. Columbus Blue Jackets standout Johnny Gaudreau and his brother were killed last night. They were riding their bikes, struck by a driver suspected of being under the influence of alcohol, according to police in New Jersey. This is in Salem County, about 45 minutes from where I grew up. Johnny Gaudreau, 31 years old. His brother Matthew, 29. According to reports, they were close to the fog line of the roadway. I'm not sure exactly what that means, the fog line of the roadway, when they were hit from behind by a driver who was trying to pass another car, according to New Jersey State Police. The driver had been trying to pass a slower-moving sedan, an SUV in front of him in the northbound lane, so he moved to the southbound lanes, passed the sedan. Higgins was that's the driver, was trying to re-enter the northbound lane when the SUV in front of Higgins moved to the middle of the road, splitting the north and south lanes to safely pass the cyclists. Higgins then allegedly tried to pass the SUV on the right. That's when he struck the brothers, according to the police. He had about 5 or 6 beers before the crash, failed a field sobriety test, according to the police report.
That is just awful. And they were there, the brothers, to be apparently groomsmen in their sister's wedding today.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I can't even imagine.
I mean, Gaudreau, I didn't even know. I don't remember this. I probably knew it at the time. He was the Hobie Baker Award winner in 2014. That's given to the best player in college hockey. He was also a finalist for the Calder Trophy, which is given to the league's best rookie. He was an All-Star in 2015. He played 9 seasons for the Calgary Flames before joining the Blue Jackets for the 2022-23 season. Last year, he had 12 goals and 48 assists. Horrible, horrible news. All right, down in Atlanta, Tour Championship going on yesterday, round 1. And Scotty Scheffler laid down the law. It was interesting because, as you know, in this playoff event, final Tour Championship, final event, the leader in the points starts out at 10 under, and then the golfer in second is 8 under. So you had Scheffler start out at 10 under, and you had Schauffele at 8 under. First hole, I was watching this. Scheffler bogeys, Schauffele, I believe, birdies, and now they're tied. So I'm like, oh my gosh, is he going to lose for a third straight year? Now it's early, it was only the first round, but is he going to lose for a third straight year, leading going into the Tour Championship? Well, then he stepped on the gas. 16 under now is where Scheffler stands, as he shot a 6 under 65. So you take the 6 under, you add it to the 10 under. That's how you get the 16 under. 7-stroke lead over Schauffele and Colin Morikawa. Morikawa shot a 5 under 66. Schauffele had to settle for a 1 under 70. Again, 3 rounds to go, but Scheffler with a 7-stroke lead.
Yeah, low round of the day. He was on the back 9. He was incredible. Crazy. I rewound it and had to listen to it 4 different times yesterday before I was like, there's no way they're going to get this wrong. I still can't. I still don't believe it.
What?
The stat of the day. Scottie Scheffler's the last time Scottie Scheffler led after the first round of the tournament was the 2022 Tour Championship.
Right.
He's won 8 times since then, but never led after the first round. In his career, he's never won a tournament where he led after the first round. I was like, you mean tell me all this that's happened this year, he never had a first round lead? That's crazy. That is insane.
Didn't Tiger Woods, early in his career, when he first started to win, they get a reputation for being a front runner? Like, once he had the
that was
lead.
His whole thing in majors. He never won. He never came from behind. But
there you go.
He also never blew a lead until Y.E. Yang took him down.
So there you go. So he was an unbelievable front runner, but not great coming from behind. Well,
that was in the final round. Not
okay, but still, Scheffler not having a lead since the Tour Championship in 2022. I saw the same stat. And he's won how many since?
8 times.
8 times. That's pretty incredible.
So, note to self.
You never count the guy out.
Don't ever bet Scottie Scheffler to be the first round leader.
Right.
Because he just doesn't do it. It's not his thing. He's coming into this week. Now he's got this week, but he's 0 for 3 in his career when he has a first round lead. But he's only led after the first round 3 times in his entire career.
It's pretty incredible. All right, so just a few minutes to go before our next break, and maybe we'll get back to circle back at the end of the show. But the Tigers and North Alabama, I'm just curious as to what they'll do attendance-wise. You had Ryan Silverfield, who joined us yesterday, talk about still some seats available. The capacity, I don't know if anybody knows exactly what the capacity is, but somewhere in that 32,000 neighborhood. And I don't think that's too much to ask for. Now, weather-wise, it's going to be a little bit cooler than it's been. The temperature not expected to exceed 90, but there could be some precip, although it'll probably feel great as long as it's not any. We don't need a lightning delay, any kind of thunderstorm rolling through. But again, evening game, temperature not expected to be beyond the upper 80s, maybe a little rain earlier in the day, cool things off just a tad more. I think it's going to be a perfect night to watch a Tigers team, again, who's expected to blow out the North Alabama Lions. They did so 2 years ago in their only other meeting, 59-0. But that's not the point. The point is to be there to support your team. And if you're a true Tigers fan, they're the ones that will be there. But we always talked about it over the years. You know, how many true Tiger fans are there? There will be bandwagon Tigers fans if this team rolls along this season and has an opportunity to possibly make it to the playoff as the Group of 5 representative. But how many are going to be there at the beginning when they're playing somebody like North Alabama? So I'll be real curious to see what that's going to be like. I know we gave away some tickets yesterday, so hopefully people are out there and purchasing tickets. And I'm not going to tell you what to do with your entertainment dollars, but if you're a Tigers fan, you're a true Tigers fan, you'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, the weather could end up being perfect. I mean, it might work out perfectly for them if they can avoid the rain. It should be beautiful as far as temperature goes and everything else. So that'll be nice for the folks out there. And, yeah, hopefully they can get a good crowd. We did give away tickets yesterday. You know what I'll do? I'll give away more tickets today.
I knew that was going to happen. How about that? What are you doing?
I've got 4 more tickets that I'll give away today.
All right.
That's how nice I am. I mean, I guess technically North Alabama fans could win them too.
Is it really because you're nice?
If there's North Alabama fans listening, they have a chance to win them as well. But otherwise, I'm trying to get as many Tiger fans out in the game as possible.
Is it really because you're nice?
So here you go.
Come on now.
Caller number. Let's go 6. Caller number 6.
All right.
360-8255. 360-8255. Caller number 6. 4 tickets to see the Tigers take on North Alabama tomorrow night. And again, what could be a beautiful beautiful night for some football.
360-8255, Sissy's Log Cabin. Listener line.
I mean, perfect outdoor drinking weather tomorrow night, so you can't ask for anything more than that for a football game.
By the way, yesterday, it was really weird. I'm sitting in my living room where I normally am to do my segment on Thursdays with Brett and Bryant on Sportstime. And a couple times I went out. I couldn't tell, but they told me. And one time they had to actually call me back. And I heard thunder, like outside my house. I heard thunder, but I'm sitting there on my phone. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not driving anywhere. And it went out. And I was like, well, it's got to be the weather. And then eventually I would go outside and realize it never rained one drop.
Oh, we got a lot of rain. A lot. It rained hard for.
We do have our sixth caller.
Probably.
We do have our winner.
20 minutes or so. We got a good amount of rain.
It didn't rain one drop where I was, but yet kept losing my phone service for whatever reason it is. All right, we'll take a time out. I want to tell you about Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. For tailgating, Corky's is a great choice. High school football, college football, whatever the case may be. The NFL cranks up next week. You're sitting behind a table that's full of Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, watching football with friends and family. You cannot beat that. They will cater any event, no matter what size. So give them a call. Find out about their catering services. 4 locations for Corky's. Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, Goodman Road in Olive Branch. If you're heading there for lunch today, ask about their lunch special. You can add a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99 when you purchase an entree during lunch or dinner. Party packs start at just $7.49 for that delicious Q. Those great ribs. Barbecue nachos are out of this world. I'm not a big chicken wing guy, but my buddy is, and he gets the chicken wings every time. He loves them. Cheese and sausage plates. Now you're talking with cheese and sausage plates. That is something I love. They also have had tamales, which I've had before. The award-winning catfish plate, hamburgers, even spaghetti, which is absolutely delicious with your barbecue. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. When we come back, we open up Hour 3 with 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hello, sports fans out there. Walker Taylor here with the Germantown and Collierville Commissary. We just celebrated our 43rd year in business, and I would like to thank our fantastic customers and especially our loyal staff. Time has flown by. We now have a second location, Poplar and Houston Levy in Collierville. Catering is a specialty of ours. 50 to 5,000, no job too small, no job too big. Full service or self-service. We also have a party room in Collierville that is great for rehearsal dinners, business meetings, you name it, we'd love to have you. Also, our barbecue party packs start at $8.75 a person. Barbecue, beans, slaw, bun sauce, including serving utensils. Especially great for tailgating with football season coming up. The commissary restaurants also believe in giving back to the community. Possibly you have been approached by somebody selling a barbecue 6-pack coupon for fundraising. Cheerleading groups, church groups, anything to help a worthy cause. Holidays are near. Smoked hams and smoked turkeys will be on the pit before you know it. Come see us at Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Also check us out at commissarybarbecue.com.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Memphis. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Sport in Collierville, Landers Sport South in South Haven, or Landers Sport North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at BrianElderRoofing.com.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Are you looking to save on gas? Well, we got it covered at Gossett Kia on the Pike with 41 and Beachy Highway and your new 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $37.99 to its signing. Or how about a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite with 0% APR available for 48 months? Or get 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month, $49.99 to its signing. All 24-month lease. Plus, you always get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike or online 24/7 365 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Acquisition fee $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE 794066, MSRP 21820, EV9 R60 29603, MSRP 61035. Lease terms include all rebates and incentives, and PF 695 includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit, valid through 8/31/24. Dealer stock only.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Wrapping up a couple of wrecks we had out here a little bit earlier. It's actually been pretty light. I'm sure this afternoon is going to be a different story. Lots of radar out here. You're going to see a lot of that over the weekend, so make sure you slow it down. It's trying to develop some volume on 55 North coming out of DeSoto County up through South Haven. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry right here in Memphis. They specialize in bridal ring purchases. They've been around since 1984. Shop local this weekend. Save a lot of money at Weimer's Jewelry out there on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Final hour for us this week here on Sports 56 Mornings. We will not have a show on Monday because of Labor Day. Tuesday will be jam-packed as we'll recap everything that happened in week one of college football. Some great guests lined up for you as well. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. Broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale, continues at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 77 degrees. It will get up to 92. Partly cloudy, then becoming cloudy this afternoon with a stray shower or thunderstorm possible. Tonight, 75 for a low. Showers early, then cloudy overnight. But again, for your Saturday, cloudy skies, 88 for the high. That's it, 88 for the high. Sunday, 85 for your high temperature here in the metropolitan Memphis area. Hour 3 of the program brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Maybe it's a project that you are looking to do, whether it be reflooring your home, putting down carpeting, whatever the case may be. Jenkins Floors and More is the place for you. Locally owned and operated by some great people. Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins, who started this company about 8 years ago down in Cleveland, Mississippi. They still have a store there, but they've opened up a big showroom and store at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Warehouse is the word I was looking for. It is big. And if you're looking for carpeting, you're looking for flooring, and you're looking to save a lot of money, Jenkins Floors and More is the place for you. They sell it wholesale, skip the middleman, going to save you lots of money in the process. They also can do the job for you, and they'll do it in an unheard of 2-week turnaround. They'll come to you, give you a free estimate, show you the different samples of what the flooring will look like, the carpeting, and then you go with Jenkins. They'll have the job done in 2 weeks. So go visit them, 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Again, they have stores in Cleveland, Mississippi, and in Little Rock, Arkansas. Or call them at 662-469-9350. They're open Monday through Saturday. Ask about the Sports 56 family discount. Also, all military and first responders, 10% off. It's a great family, great service, a great company. It's Jenkins Floors and More, third-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Lang will be joining us at 9:25, so we moved it up, and we'll continue to do 10 in a row at this time each and every Friday. It is time for 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It's a game show that has swept the nation. It's 10 in a row. If you'd like to participate, you need to jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines right now at 901-360-8255. 10 in a row is brought to you by Napa Cafe and the Owner's Box. If you're looking for sports in all the wrong places, we'll find the right place. That's the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland, in the Lakeland Town Square. Just a really neat place. Nice, comfortable, all the big screens to watch all the games, especially the start of college football and the NFL next week. This is the place for you. All over-the-wall taps for all your favorite beers. They also have non-alcoholic and local craft beers. In front of the wall, they got the full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. They have an upscale menu, patio seating as well, plus daily specials and events. So this is the place for you. They have a lunch special Monday through Friday from 11 to 3, everything from quesadillas to sliders to salads, absolutely out of this world. It's the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill. Check them out this weekend at the Lakeland Town Square.
Napa Cafe is located at 5101 Sanderlin. They're open for dinner starting Wednesday through Saturday at 5 o'clock. And if you want to get reservations, you can at napacafe.com. Also at napacafe.com. You can check out that entire menu and check out some of those delicious dishes that you can enjoy. Maybe one of the great appetizers. Just want to go sit at the bar, have an appetizer and a drink to enjoy a little happy hour. That's absolutely fine to do that. Or maybe you're celebrating a special occasion and you want to get that private wine cellar. You can do that. They got 5 different dining rooms, including that private wine cellar, which makes a great place to celebrate a special night out. But it's about great food, great atmosphere. That's what you'll find at Napa Cafe. 26 years now they've been open. 5101 Sanderlin. Glenda Hastings and her crew will take good care of you, and you're going to love the food and the atmosphere at Napa Napa Cafe. Their entire menu is available for curbside pickup as well. But you want to go in there, enjoy it at the place. Again, dinner, Wednesday through Saturday, starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations and to check out the menu, go to napacafe.com.
All right, here's the question. College football quarterbacks who have passed for 5,000 or more yards in a single season. College football quarterbacks who have passed for 5,000 or more yards in a single season. If you'd like to participate, please jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines right now. Don't get shut out. 901-360-8255. What are they playing for?
We've got a $25 gift certificate to the Owner's Box. Got a $50 gift certificate to Blue City Cafe. Got golf for 4 at Miramichi. And a couple of Malco movie passes.
All right, nice prize package as it usually is. 360-8255 is the number. College football quarterbacks who have passed for 5,000 or more yards in a single season. That's a lot of yards. When I started to look this thing up, I was like, all right, let me look at 3,000. Okay, let me move on. Let me look at 4,000. Okay, I better move to 5,000 because there are a lot of big yardage seasons, especially in the last 30, 35 years of football. 360-8255. Don't delay. Let's play 10 in a row.
First up will be Mean Gene. What's up, Mean Gene?
Hey, Gene.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Doing great. All right, college football quarterbacks who have passed for 5,000 or more yards in a season. C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud, yeah.
360-8255. There are a number of great seasons in the upper fours, like 4,800, 49, 47, but that's not 5,000. 5,000 or more yards in a single season. 360-8255. Let's get going, folks. We got places to be, things to do. Brandon Lang joins us at 9:25 to handicap some of the big college football games this weekend. Not a ton of big clashes, but there's enough for the expertise of Brandon Lang. Then, of course, next week it'll be great because Brandon will start to handicap not only college football, but the NFL as well. Wednesday, by the way, we'll have our picks for the upcoming NFL season.
Got a $25 gift certificate to the Owner's Box, $50 to Blue City Cafe, golf for 4 at Miramichi, and a couple of Malco movie passes waiting for a winner in 10 in a row. Let's see if that can be Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie.
Hey.
Hey, Ronnie. All right, here we go.
Hey, guys.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yes.
Drake May.
Yes.
360-8255 is the number. College football quarterbacks who have passed for 5,000 or more yards in a season. We do have some open lines. 360-8255.
Next up is Andre. Hey, Andre.
Andre?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much. All right, here we go. You know the question. C.J. Stroud.
No.
Tim Couch.
No.
Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Bo Nix.
No.
Ty Detmer.
Yes.
Derek Carr.
No.
360-8255. Next.
Next up is Mario. Hey, Mario.
Mario?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yes.
Drake May.
No.
Baker Mayfield.
No.
Bailey Zappi.
Yes.
Andre Ware.
No.
Case Keenum.
Yes.
Jim McMahon.
No.
Colt Brennan.
Yes.
David Klingler.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson.
No.
There's your winner.
Mario. Well done, sir. Congratulations. You are a winner. Hold on. Zach will tell you how to get your prizes. Very impressive.
You doing second chance?
No second chance.
No second chance. All right, that's it for 10 in a row, but I will give you an opportunity here with list number 1. C.J. Stroud?
No.
Tim Couch?
No.
Joe Burrow?
Yes.
Bo Nix?
No.
Ty Detmer?
No.
That's a yes. Derek Carr?
Yes.
Pat Mahomes?
Yes.
Timmy Chang?
Yes.
No, that's a no.
Really?
He has the yardage accumulated, but not a 5,000-yard season. Sam Hartman?
No.
Landry Jones?
No.
No. Here are some of the totals. By the way, Case Keenum, 3 times.
Wait, Case Keenum, he's the all-time league. He almost averages 5,000 yards a season.
Isn't it crazy?
He's at 19,000 something yards.
Case Keenum, who was just announced, a couple of days ago, he's out for the year, unfortunately. Back up in Houston. 5,671 in a year. 5,631. 5,020. 3 times. 3 times over 5,000 yards. Some of the other ones I used, Joe Burrow, 5,671 for his Heisman Trophy winning season at LSU. Detmer, 5,188 at BYU. Derek Carr, 5,083 for Fresno State, I believe. Patrick Mahomes, 5,052. Cliff Kingsbury at 5,017. Colt Brennan, 5,549 his 1 year over 5,000. Klingler was 5,140. Bailey Zappi, where did he play? Now part of the Chiefs practice squad.
Zappi was Western Kentucky.
Okay. Not sure if you're correct, but I'm
not sure if I'm correct either.
5,967 yards. He nearly had 6,000 yards passing in a season. Bailey Zappi. Nearly 6,000 yards passing.
Western Kentucky.
Wow, good guess.
Houston Baptist, and then he played 1 year at Western Kentucky.
Holy smokes. That is incredible. That's 10 in a row. It's brought to you by Napa Cafe and the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in the Lakeland Town Square. There you go. Good stuff. When we come back, the one and only Brandon Lang for another year. Get ready, folks. If you've never heard Brandon, just get ready. Also, get ready for this weekend because All-Star Chevrolet's end of summer sale continues. This is a great opportunity. We're winding down this sale, folks. So if you're interested in an automobile, whether it be new or pre-owned, this is the time to buy because of this great deal that they offer at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. I would advise you to go down and test drive a couple of these vehicles, see if you like them or not. And if you're looking for a trade-in, this is the best time to get the most money on your trade-in. They have 20 to 30 new Silverados on the lot, marked down as much as 12%. That'll save you thousands. Beautiful Tahoes as well. Now, for law enforcement workers, all first responders, healthcare workers, teachers, military, college students, and graduates, you get an extra $500 bonus when you purchase a vehicle from All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. The pre-owned vehicles, numerous. The variety is unbelievable. Ram trucks and Silverados, 4Runners, Broncos, Audis, Hyundai Palisades, sweet Corvette Stingrays they have. Well, at least they have one down there. You can check out all these great pre-owned vehicles at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. So don't miss All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale. It's going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. And check out the vehicles online at allstarautogroup.com. Brandon Lang's next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quirky's Barbecue in Cordova.
The Mitsubishi Final Days of Summer sales event is going strong at Gossen Mitsubishi on the Pike. So come get bang for your buck with 420 total range and 64 combined MPGE in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. We Gossen $34,770 or $299.98 a month. And check out 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossen at $27,245 or $349 a month. Plus, you'll never go wrong with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi today at 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com. That's Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
RZO 35297 MSRP 47470 36-month 30,000-mile lease 4453 do it signing 1,095 acquisition fee 25 cents per mile excess wear and tear. Eclipse RZO 65440 MSRP 28745 includes all rebates and incentives PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa sale. It's happening right now. You can save thousands on in-stock hot tubs that are ready to be delivered. Family Leisure has spas that start at just $28.99. You know those cold plunges? You can get one for yourself starting at $39.99. Or how about swim spas? They start at $17,499. Plus, Family Leisure has set up special financing just for this event. Have you been sitting on the fence about an above-ground pool? Get off that fence and get to Family Leisure to take advantage of huge discounts on all their in-stock above-ground pools. And if you need some patio furniture, it's all priced to move out now. It's not too late to have some summer fun, courtesy of Family Leisure. But you better hurry up. The world's biggest spa sale might go on forever. Family Leisure. With run at I-40. Family and fun come together.
At Buster's Butcher, we're a full-service butcher shop offering a curated selection of quality meats, steaks, cheeses, prepared foods, and more. Our skilled butchers are also experienced chefs. They'll be delighted to guide you on selecting, preparing, and cooking our fine selection of products. Located next to Buster's Liquors and Wines in the University District on Highland and Poplar, we're like nothing else you can find in Memphis. Learn more at bustersbutcher.com and come see why every cut counts at Buster's Butcher.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. And once again, Barbara Gaston and Eli Support.
Again, a big shout out to Jenkins Floors and More. Third hour sponsor of Sports 56 mornings for flooring and carpeting. Check them out at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake or call them at 662-469-9350. It's Jenkins Floors and More. Brandon Lang will join us in just a few moments. So, who was the NAIA team that played Stephen F. Austin yesterday?
I'm not sure.
Was it North American University?
I did not know. I saw something about it, but I did not pay any attention to I didn't really care about Stephen F. Austin's game last night.
Well, I saw the score 70-0 at halftime, so it's going to turn your head a little bit when you see something like that. I'm like, wait a minute, is this a high school girls game? Those 92-4 games? Well, it was college football. I'm not sure if it was that North American team because I'm looking at something here that's posted about this North American team. They said it really is the Bishop Sycamore of colleges. Founded in 2007 as Texas Gulf Institute, focused on teaching English as a second language by founders from Turkey. And they have a box score of a game last year against Portland State, where Portland State won 91-0, but did not score in the fourth quarter because they called off the dogs.
It was a lot closer than the score would indicate. Last night, by the way, U.S. Open, Carlos Alcaraz down in straight sets.
Yes, I saw that this morning because it happened late last night. Not sure exactly when it ended, but man, oh man, he lost to some dude I had never. Look,
it ended right pretty much because he was down. He was down 2 sets, and they were 3-3 in the third, right when the Colorado game ended. And then it was not a good night for his. He went down to Bodik van de Zandschulp.
Yes.
Quite a name.
Sounds like an artist.
Van de Zandschulp.
I used to be familiar with a lot of the tennis names, not all the tennis names. I saw this guy's name, like, who the hell is this guy? And he knocks off Carlos Alcaraz, which means it opens the door a little bit more for Novak Djokovic to get the 25th major, would it be?
Mm-hmm.
There's that strong possibility. So we'll see. Again, it is our pleasure to be able to bring you one of the most colorful, entertaining handicappers there is in the business. A guy who had a movie made after his career, 2 for the Money. A guy who Well, I don't even know how accurate he is because he's just damn entertaining. But I'm sure he's accurate as well. He'll be talking to us all season long, college football, NFL. We are excited to have him on the program once again when we can actually get him on the line. He's part of the Believe Podcast Network. He's a terrific betting analyst that you see in a lot of different podcasts on that network. Also, the website BrandonLang.com, which he's had for a long, long time. This guy has stories upon stories upon stories, and we are very, very pleased. We don't have his new open finished yet. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, may I give you, for the 2024-25 season, Mr. Brandon Lang. That's as long as I could, kill time right there, Brandon, to get you on. How are you, my friend?
All right, so I'm dare I say, I can't say perfect because if it were perfect, the field goal kicker for Minnesota would have gagged all over himself last night to give me that win. Because I started off the college. First of all, I go 8-2 in preseason football, which is hard to do. And then I come out of the box hitting Georgia Tech plus 10 over Florida State and called for them to win the game outright.
Good play.
So I think we've hit 6 straight football winners and 9 of my last 11, including Georgia Tech, with Minnesota the best bet last night. And when he clanged off the crossbar, the 26-yarder. This is a preseason All-American kicker who misses the 26-yarder, hits off the goalpost. I said to Ellen, oh boy, that 3 points can come back to haunt me. Then he misses the 46-yarder to win the game and get the cover instead of a push. So it's not perfect, but it's 99.9% perfect. I sent Eli the proposal video, and it's as epic as anything you could imagine on the face of the planet. First of all,
well, can I say this? Congratulations, number one. Number two,
thank you.
I have not seen the video, so Eli has not shared it with me. When did it happen?
Eli, what's wrong with you? Well, we'll get to that later. So it was one day and a year after we met. So it was August 3rd, State on the face of the senator. So we had a friend of a friend, and we tried to get word to him, but the friend of the friend turned out to be someone who talks a big game but doesn't come through in the clutch. So I was just trying to get a message to Chris saying, hey, I'm proposing to my fiance at your concert, and just be aware of it. Now watch what happened.
See if we can get a better signal.
Is he on a boat?
It was at a Chris Stapleton concert. That's what was.
He got engaged at a Chris Stapleton concert?
Yes. Awesome. During a great song. It's fantastic.
Wait, was Chris Stapleton in on it?
Well, that's what he was just trying to tell us.
I couldn't tell. It was going in and out. I thought he said a different name.
That wasn't better now? Brandon.
How am I now?
There we go. That's way better. Way better.
All right. So, so I took her to a Chris Stapleton concert. I was trying to get word to him through a third party who said they knew him. Mm-hmm. And when push came to shove, the third party said, well, I don't drive from in New Hampshire. I only drive for him in New York. And I was like, well, I'm not asking you to drive for him. I'm just asking you to tell him that friends of yours are going to be proposing to his fiance in New Hampshire and be aware of it. Well, that's all the person said. So well, forget it. No problem. Now we get to the concert. And I'm 17 rows. I don't want to take all the time in this segment. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. I needed to get her to the aisle because we're going over 17 seats. So everybody in the row knew about it. Well, Millionaire was supposed to be number 3. It wasn't number 3, but as fate would have it, Ellen says I have to use the restroom. So now I could get her to the aisle. I'm saying, well, let's wait to see what the next song is. If it's not, then we'll go to the restroom. And then it's Millionaire. So I'm like, okay, let's go to the restroom. So when I got to the aisle, I handed my phone pre-planned to the woman on the end to videotape the whole thing. She videotapes it. I go down on one knee. It's epic beyond anything you can imagine. People going nuts, crazy, cheering, yelling, screaming. They put it on the big board real quick. When we got up to go to the bathroom, people in the next section were high-fiving us all the way to the bathroom. 200 yards away, VIP, people walking in, congratulations, waiters, service staff, like the whole place knew. And so we're just beside ourselves. I look at my phone's 0 dark 30, flash didn't come on. I don't get it. As we go back to my seat, a lady who was in the next section over where I went right down on one knee says, excuse me, miss, I got the whole thing for you if you want it. She was videotaping Chris singing the song. When I went down on one knee in front of her, she came off Chris to me, hit the flash, and got the whole thing.
Wow.
It was absolutely beyond epic. Eli has the video. He said that was unreal. He'll show it to you. But as fate would have it, 4 songs later, somebody proposed right in front of him by the stage. I'm filming that song because I think at the end of that song, his wife is going to embrace him. Instead, she walks by, so I just would stop recording. He goes, I think we had 2 engagements. We just had one down here. I know we had one back there. Yeah, it's us. He goes, did she say yes? Did she say yes back there? He goes, man, that thing's happening the way it's supposed to. So he organically acknowledges it, which was the cherry on top of the sundae. And when you watch that video, Joey Guns, you're going to be like, no way. It's as perfect as it can possibly be, which is exactly the way you can describe this relationship from day one. And we're getting married November 9th in Las Vegas, Nevada, and you both are welcome to come if you can make it. It's November 9th, Saturday in Vegas.
That's incredible.
See, I was wondering, my big question was about like who took the video, because it was so well done, because it's, at first I'm like, okay, why is he just sending me a video? Does he know I like Chris Stapleton that much? I'm like, why is he sending me this Chris Stapleton thing? And then when it pans over, I mean, it is, like, the video is awesome. It's perfect.
Yes, so that's exactly right. She's just filming Millionaire, which is an incredible song. She's just filming that. When I went down on one knee, and if you listen, as he starts that song, about 10 seconds in, you can hear people start yelling and screaming, because that's when I went down on one knee, and she saw that and goes, what's going on here? And she came to it, and she goes, oh, my God, this guy's proposing. I got to stay with this. This is incredible. So she stays with it. There's Ellen. She puts on her flash. You see Ellen raise her hand saying yes. Ellen goes on one knee. Ellen gets the ring. They come back. She's got the whole – it's epic. Great. It's just absolutely epic. And to have something so perfect at this point in your life, you just shake your head every day and pinch yourself and just say, it's a once-in-a-lifetime meeting. It's a once-in-a-lifetime connection. I wish everybody in their life could experience something that we've been together now 13 months, and I can tell you, in 13 months, neither one of us raised our voice. We've not had one fight or one argument. People are like, you're in the honeymoon phase. Bro, I'm 61. I'm not going to say her age on air because she would absolutely kill me, but she looked 40, and people think she's 50. And she's in her early 50s, and that's all I'm going to say. And I can tell you, it's not the honeymoon phase. You're who you are at this point in your life, and you're set in your ways. Mm-hmm. And there's not one thing I do that bothers her. There's not one thing she does that bothers me. We say it all the time, and it's carried over to the start of this football season. Remember last year, next week in the NFL, next week in the NFL, she'll have her slap game. she'll have her paddle game, whatever we decided on. And she went, I guess, 14-2, so she'll have her game. But she's so now into what I'm doing. She's got a vested interest now in what I'm doing every day. What's our game? Who do we got? What's the line? What do we got going? She's so well versed now. It's incredible. She's like, we had a push last night? That sucks. Why didn't you buy the half point? I'm like, whoa. We can't buy off of 2 to 2.5. She goes, why? I go, you buy from 2.5 to 3. She goes, why can't we buy 2.5? I go, we can't. She's like, you're stupid. She bought 2.5. She bought 2.5. We're going to push. I'm like, all right, easy there, babe. Easy there. So it's well,
let me say this.
It's just great.
If you can go through that relationship and then now starting November as your wife and not have an argument when it comes to gambling, I mean, you guys are saints. I don't know how that's not going to happen, but I'm telling you, I'm so happy for you because we left it off last year when you wrapped up our segment for the season. Everything was great with the relationship. I had not heard word one. I never get a text. I don't know anything what's going on.
Well,
and to hear this, I'm so happy.
I was going to text you because you knew we were moving in together. That's what I told you.
Yeah, that's where we left off. That was the cliffhanger at the end of the season.
Yeah,
we were ready for the new season.
Yeah.
Right. So I wanted you wondering, before I came on air, did they break up? We haven't heard from him. That can't be good. They broke up. Oh, my God. He's going to come on the air. He's going to be crushed. It's going to be a such season, whatever. I'm like, I'm not going to bury the lead. Right. I knew I was going to propose. I had booked the Chris Stapleton tickets in June, and I knew she was going to say yes because her best friend Amy said She doesn't expect it, but she's hoping. So I knew the answer was going to be yes. And it's been. I hate using the word perfect, but it really is perfect.
It is so weird because when I started watching the film, I'm like, have we talked about how much I like Chris Stapleton with Brandon or something? He's just showing me he's at a Chris Stapleton concert up close. I'm like, awesome. But then I'm like, hey, wait, things are happening right here now. This video has completely changed.
Is she a fan of Stapleton? Or of course she is now, but was she a fan of Stapleton?
That's her favorite country music artist. Here's the funniest story of all. This will show you exactly where I was at with country music. I never listened to country music. I couldn't tell you Cole Swindell, from Kenny Chesney to Cody Johnson to Matt Snell, who's got a song "I Prayed for You," which is just off. If anybody in a relationship, Matt Snell, "I Prayed for You." I couldn't tell you any of that.
We've had Matt Snell on the show before.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that next week. But at our wedding, that's the song my brother's going to sing for us. My brother plays guitar. But anyway, long story short, second date. We're at a little mini concert at a property that her company owns. And she says, this is one of the funniest things ever. She goes, so what do you think of Old Dominion? And I go, the Monarchs and the Colonial Athletic Conference. I made some money with them last year. Their football program's on the up and coming. And I think that they're probably an underdog that I'm going to look at this year coming up. But and she's looking at me. And she goes, I meant Old Dominion, the country western group. And I go, I have no idea who they are. I've never heard them. And when it comes to country music, I have no idea, but I'm willing to learn. Now my radio stays on the highway on a Sirius XM. I listen to nothing else. I'm addicted to country music. Country music's the absolute best. I haven't got my cowboy in my hat yet, but
Look at you.
Stapleton's awesome. You certainly can't go wrong with Chris Stapleton.
Oh my God, he's our favorite.
He is awesome.
But I will tell you that Cody Johnson's got a couple of songs that are insane. Matt Snell does. Morgan Wallen. It's just incredible how many good artists there are. But I
don't know if you've ever heard of this, Brandon, but there's a city that's about 3 hours from where we are. It's called Nashville, and they have some connection to country music. I don't know what it is. So if you ever come to this area, which you've promised to come for a while, you can kill two birds with one stone and go see your favorite country music, because that's what they do here, 3 hours from here.
I promise you before the season's over, on my daughter's life, who's sitting next to me right now, because I just picked her up at the airport. She's in New York for the first time in her life at 15.
Wow.
Ellen's going to spend a day with her tomorrow. We're taking her to the city on Sunday. It's just going to be epic. But I promise you, Ellen and I will come down on a Friday. We'll come in studio with you. We'll do dinner with you on Friday night and hang out. And then her and I'll bust a move up to Nashville and spend the weekend in Nashville.
I will
promise you we will do that before the season's over.
That sounds great.
That's perfect. All right, so let's get to some games. There's not a lot of great ones this week anyway, so it's actually works out. The game I'm most interested in, and to me the line is interesting, is the Notre Dame A&M game. Which side are you on?
Well, I have the most incredible stat. It's funny you go write that, because I got something for you. If you think Notre Dame's offense is going to be able to do something, if you think based on who they return and what they got going on, if their offense is going to be able to move the football and put up some points, okay, then you're going to take Notre Dame in this game, and you're not going to worry about it. You're just going to say, I got myself a winner. Because are you ready for this? This could be one of the best stats of the year, okay? Notre Dame is 54-1 outright in its last 55 games when they outgained their opponent.
Wow.
Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
If not, let me throw it your way one more time. Notre Dame is 54-1 outright in its last 55 games if they outgain their opponent. So they got the senior quarterback back and Riley Leonard, 6 starters back on offense. If they outgain, they win. I'm going Notre Dame plus the 3.
I like that one. I love this one. I'm a little worried now because a lot of people like it. West Virginia to cover the 8.
I knew it. You were going there. I literally did. I like them. I like them too. I'm sorry. James Franklin's had 4 road openers in his career at Penn State. He's 2-2 straight up and against the spread, but the 2 wins were by 6 and by 4 points. I like what I saw for West Virginia. They won 5 of their last 6 down the stretch. They crushed North Carolina in their bowl game. They got all the momentum in the world, and I just don't know what Penn State has in the tank out of the box. I know they're going to be good. It's weird handicapping the Big Ten when you see these West Coast teams in there. It's so weird with this realignment. It's got me all messed up. Handicapping UCLA in the Big Ten Conference, Washington in the Big Ten Conference. It's just weird. USC in the Big Ten Conference, it's just weird. But he's only got 13 starters back. He's got a new quarterback behind center. I just don't think they're going to go in there and blow them out. I'm with you. I'm going to take West Virginia plus the 8.5.
I think Georgia is going to blow out Clemson, but that line is coming down now. What do you think?
Well, Dabo Swinney has only been an underdog in his career of 5 points or more 13 times. He's 12-1 against the spread.
Ooh.
I don't know how they're going to do it. It's not a game I'm going to touch because every time I go against Georgia, they just seem to fire on all cylinders. But I'm going to watch that game and lean towards rooting for Clemson. I will just, for sake of making a pick on your show, it's hard to go against that number. This is probably the biggest game he's ever had in his career there. He's already on the hot seat. He's had a down year the last 2 years. He needs to get off the box big. Georgia's reloaded. It's on a neutral field, although it's, favoring Georgia. It's hard for me to go against 12-1 against the spread when this man's getting 5 or more. Let's see what happens, but I lean towards Clemson.
Are you in on Cam Ward in Miami? They're playing Florida in the Swamp. Miami, a 2.5-point road favorite.
This is such a tough game because you want to trust Miami. You want to trust that coach. But we all sit there and watched him last year against Georgia Tech. We watched him pull off that. But Florida is 41-1-2 straight up in home openers since 1980. Let me say that again. In home openers, they are 41-1-2 straight up in home openers since 1980, including 37-0-1 against non-conference opponents. Last year they opened up against Utah, I believe. They're catching 2.5, 3, and figured out a way to beat them outright in the Swamp on a really, really hot day. I want to take Miami because they're loaded. But this guy's such a bad coach. He's such a bad game coach. I don't know. Everything points to Miami. Everything. But let's see. Those are hard numbers to go. 37-0-1 against non-conference opponents. Home bumpers, 1980. That's insane. 37 straight.
Sunday, LSU, USC, both teams lost Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks. LSU, the favorite in Vegas. What do you think?
Lincoln Riley, 38-4 straight up in the first 6 games of the season, including 12-0 with USC. Give me USC plus the points.
So you had the pick of Georgia Tech over Florida State in Dublin. You had them straight up to win the game. Forget about the points.
Yep.
You didn't need the points. Florida State now, I'm sure, had a tough week or so of practice. They got Boston College on the only game Monday night. They're 16.5-point favorites. I don't know anything, quite honestly, about BC. Is this a Florida State game where they come out and they just extract revenge and they crush BC?
Well, you would think that, but what happened was in that game was that the Igloo, I can't pronounce his name, nor I'm going to try. I'm just going to call him the Igloo all year because I can't pronounce his name, and I'm not going to try. But their offense struggled.
Yep, he struggled.
He struggled. Their offense struggled, and people thought that they were just going to roll right in there. And their offense was going to pick up right where they left off, and Georgia Tech was able to run the football. But this BC team is loaded. It's Bill O'Brien's first year. 17 starters back. You got an NFL coach, 17 starters back. We got the starting quarterback back. I think it's going to be a little closer than people think. I love Georgia Tech for one main reason. The hangover over Florida State. And you don't get to go to the Final Four. You get blown out in your bowl game 62-3. I don't know if they come back from that. And you saw it against Georgia Tech. And so I think BC stays within the number. I just do. As crazy as that sounds.
All right.
Well, if you can't pronounce Uiagalelei, next week I'm sure we'll talk about Tennessee, North Carolina State. So start working on the Tennessee quarterback's name.
Well, I'll have a funny take on it, and we'll be good to go. And we'll
there's a lot of vowels.
But show Joey Guns the video.
I will.
It's absolutely epic. Eli, I will send you the video of him acknowledging the proposal, and it was great. But like I said, November. I don't know if you can make it. It's November 9th in Vegas, but I would be remiss if, since you've been part of this relationship on air, I'd be remiss if I didn't invite you guys to come on November 9th.
Well, thank you, Brandon.
I'll have to check that out.
Congratulations.
Any excuse to come to Vegas is always good.
Yeah, sure. Very happy for you, my friend. We'll do this again next week.
Got it, guys.
Thanks, Brandon. Again, Brandon Lang, you can check out the website, brandonlang.com. He's a betting analyst for the Believe Podcast Network. So there's his picks on some of the big games in college football. We'll take a timeout, come back and wrap things up. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
We're in the break room at a traditional jewelry store here. Hey, Mark, I know it's our job here to try and sell every piece of jewelry, but don't sell this ring. I'm going to try to use my employee discount to buy it for my wife.
Okay, but you know you can get a better deal at Genesis Diamonds.
Genesis Diamonds? Are you crazy? They're not like the boss here.
All I'm saying is I got a pair of diamond set earrings there for my wife and paid a lot less than what we charge here, even after my employee discount.
Wow. You never know who you'll see shopping at Genesis Diamonds. With no middleman pricing on the best selection of diamond rings, earrings, pendants, bands, and bracelets, it's a no-brainer. I admire your dedication to our jewelry store and not going to Genesis. I know the boss really appreciates your loyalty.
It's just the right thing to do, man.
And it's nice your wife won't mind getting a smaller diamond.
On second thought, can you cover me while I take a break?
Genesis Diamonds, the smart alternative to old-fashioned jewelry shopping. With more selection, lower prices, higher quality, stronger warranties, and zero pressure. At Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Listen up, I got Marty McNate on the line at Gossett Volkswagen, Germantown. Marty, you might be too busy moving back prices over there. What's up?
Going way back, Randy. Doc's orders. I've got 2024 Teos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport. Got to go back in time to get the good old days at $275 a month.
Great Scott, McNate. Plus, I hear the 2024 Atlas Peak Editions are going for $5,000 off MSRP, or $1.9 for 60 months.
That's right, Randy. During the Volkswagen Savvy Summer Sales Event, your future is whatever you make of it. So go to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown at 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
Ask for Marty to find out how much he can move you back on price. That's Gossett Volkswagen, 7420 Winchester Road.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time. Free gun rentals with purchase of ammo and members lounge access. Top Gun 2770 Witten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by James Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Did you by chance see the, I'm sure you did because everybody online was posting pictures of the, and I use air quotes here, crowd at the White Sox game yesterday?
No, I didn't see it.
Couldn't have been 500 people there.
Oh, my God.
Literally, like, I was looking at one picture. I was like, I can't find a person. And it was literally most of the stadium. However, I will say to the best fan base in the history of sports out there, did you see the Cardinals attendance yesterday?
No, but I know
See,
it's
this is the biggest myth about Cardinals. That's what drives me crazy about them talking about how they're the best fans in America. Everybody was like, it doesn't matter if the Cardinals win or lose. Fans go to the game. No, they don't. There weren't 3,000 people at their game yesterday. Unless they all sat in the upper deck.
So you want to pick a fight, don't you? Right before we wrap it up for the week.
That's why I always make fun, because they always that's why they think they're so great. Oh, we go. It doesn't matter if we're a winner. No, you guys just have always been good. That's why you've always had good crowds. When you're bad, like everybody else, nobody shows up for your games. They showed I was watching the highlight. Well, there was somebody had a double. I think it was Goldschmidt's double that drove in like Arenado. So the camera pans from there all the way out to the outfield. Everything. You don't see 500 fans in the entire shot of the entire highlight.
Yeah, attendance has to be down, I would imagine, overall for this season. But bad for St. Louis is 67-67. I know it's been a rough year. It's been rocky. It's been up and down. Who knows what will happen to Marmol, maybe even Mozeliak after the year. But 67-67, they don't know what bad is. You know what bad is from all those years with the Cubs. The Phillies had some bad years as well years ago when I was young, and still the fans came out. They came to the Phillies games. I'm sure they went to Wrigley for the most part, but
when teams are bad, people don't go.
But some do.
No, they don't. They really don't.
No, come on. Yankees fans still go to Yankees games.
If the Yankees are terrible, they won't have fans at their game.
They have so many to choose from, though. That's a chance to go to a game. Like, if you like Major League Baseball, even though the White Sox basically are a facsimile of Major League Baseball, 31 wins, by the way, for this. It's going to be more than like a record-setting year of futility for the White Sox. They're 31-104. What do they charge you to go to a game? It should be discounted. See, I would go to a game to just see, I love Major League Baseball. If the prices came down for a 31-win, 104-loss team. But I don't know if they do. I don't think they adjust it, right? They're not adjusting it now.
Well, you get them on the secondary market.
Yeah, I guess through StubHub and all that stuff, yeah.
I'm sure the season ticket holders are trying to get any little bit of money they can back.
Yeah, so I would go to a game, even with a bad team, to watch the opponent, to watch just Major League Baseball.
This is the White Sox during the game.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
They're literally, you could count them basically on your hands and toes. That's showing one entire side of the stadium. I bet there aren't 50 people.
That's actually during the game? This isn't 2 hours before the game?
There's a guy batting. There's a guy standing.
Let me see that again.
There's a guy at the plate.
Let me see that again. That is a real photo?
Yes, there's a guy batting. That is during game action.
All the stuff in Oakland, I don't think I've seen a crowd this small. This is nuts. Unless they said, let's go all to one side. You're right. There's not 50 people. They're spread out. One dude there, two dudes there, one dude there. You get a foul ball down the left field line that goes into the stands, you're going to get like 20 foul balls.
This is like when I used to go to the Redbirds game and get a bunch of foul balls. I'd go down, sit down the right field line where there's nobody, any foul ball that came down there, I could mosey on over and grab it. You could literally...
I had not seen that.
You could walk away with a collection of foul balls from that game.
That is crazy. Okay, we don't do predictions often on the show except for the season schedule and things of that nature. We'll do the NFL on Wednesday, but we don't usually go game to game. But Tigers won 59-0 over North Alabama in 2022. This year's team, offensively, maybe even better. Interesting because I know that the coaches do not expect to do what they did last year against Bethune-Cookman and make mistakes in game one. They said, look, we've been practicing since the spring, through OTAs, through the camp. We shouldn't make mistakes in game number one. But there's going to be mistakes. You just try to limit them. Memphis, 62-7 over North Alabama.
I'll say 51-10.
So similar. What's the over-under for that?
61.5.
61.5? All right, so if you think Memphis is going to score...
That's what it was yesterday. I have not checked it today.
So if you think Memphis is going to score 55 or more, well, obviously 62 or more, I got it covering just with them, 62 as opposed to 61.5. But if, let's say, they score 52, 55, does North Alabama score? They didn't score in 2022, but it doesn't mean that they won't this time. In fact, the coaches feel they're a little bit better athletically. They got a quarterback who's a transfer from Stanford. I don't know. I would go over Memphis to cover. The line is, what, 38.5? I don't think there's any way they don't cover this game.
The current, where did it go? Current over-under, still 61.5, 38.5, 61.5.
Yeah. I would go over.
If you bet Memphis minus the 38.5 and you bet over 61.5, I would say you're probably assured of winning one of the two.
Right.
And you could win both.
Could win both, could end up splitting. All right, that'll do it for us this week. We want to thank you folks for listening, all your calls, your texts. We always appreciate it. I want to thank John Barlas, Dave Hooker, and Brandon Lang for joining us on the program today. Again, no show on Monday because of Labor Day. Tuesday's going to be jam-packed. Barrett Topmeyer begins another season with us. He's every other week. Connor O'Gara being the other week. And then we'll have Barrett Sallee, because we won't have a show on Monday. We didn't have him last week. He'll join us on Tuesday. We got a lot to talk about on Tuesday as we wrap up week number 1 in college football and prep for week number 1 in the National Football League. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next for Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd. I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you Tuesday.